Get too close, and you'll get frostbite. True control is controlling your environment. Get too close, and you'll get frostbite. True control is controlling your environment. Get too close, and you'll get frostbite. True control is controlling your environment.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Free Fire Challenges Philippines, where the top 18 teams in the Philippines battle it out for a sweet prize pool at the very end. Not just in the grand finals, but even in the league stage. Every single person, every single team in here gets to take back something. The biggest difference is how big a piece of the pie do you manage to grab for yourself, as well as the chunk of glory that comes along with it as well. My name is AJ, the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia, to bring you all of the action from today.
Yeah, I mean, it is really exciting to have Pass back in here. The team's back in here on this games. It has been a week since the first 2 days of the Challengers Philippines.
Yep.
A lot has happened already, I'm pretty sure, between the teams. A lot of knowledge has been imparted from the previous games that they have, and hopefully they'll be able to put it in fruition today. And this is where we find it out. We are the hosts and casters who will give you those stories, who will shout out and call out the teams who will give us the best and exciting engagement tonight.
As usual, of course, we'll have 6 back-to-back rounds in here. We will take one break between those 6 matches. But before we kick the action off, you have to know exactly who's bringing you all of this action. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Free Fire Challenger Philippines is sponsored none other by the Infinix Note 11S, a powerful smartphone with the Helio G96 Ultra gaming processor. And you get to fire up your game and get this little baby for only 9,990 pesos. G.
Yeah, I mean, that's so affordable for us Filipinos right now to get that gaming phone. And yeah, as was mentioned by AJ, Challenger, Free Fire Challenger Philippines is the official sponsor, or sorry, Infinix Mobile is the official sponsor of the Free Fire Challenger Philippines. So, as what was mentioned, guys, Infinix Note 11S. Fire up your game with the best-selling smartphone that is right there in front of you right now. Actually, it's below AJ right now. So, go grab it.
You know, without further ado, in terms of discussing all the drama that's about to break down in here today, gentlemen, can I just ask you one question? Do you think Eva Radicals will continue to be as dominant as they have been last week? Or will this be the week that they fall? Because in terms of consistency coming through from that team, be it placement points or the kills, especially when it came to the kills, they were absolutely fantastic last week. Maybe this is that's more, motivating all of them to go out there and get the best each and every single week now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the prize pool that we have right now, guys, this is just for the league stages. And start off at the bottom, 17 and 18, who are from the 15 to 18, who will be getting 2,500, moving up to 5,000 for 13 and for the 12 to 14th, or 11 to 14th, and then 9th to 10th will be taking 7,500. It still moves up from there, and a great motivation for this teams, AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. The 5th spot all the way down to the 8th position will get to bag 10,000 pesos, 15,000 pesos for those who manage to pick up the 4th position. 3rd place gets 25,000 pesos, 50,000 for those who pick up the 2nd spot, and the 1st place gets 75,000 pesos. But this is not where it all ends. The top 12 teams from the league stages, and it spans out through 4 weeks, 8 days. The top 12 teams move on to 1 day of grand finals, where they will play back-to-back 6 rounds, and this is the mega prize pool for that day. We'll take it from the bottom, 5,000 pesos for those who of course end up in the 11th and 12th spot as a constellation, 7,500 pesos for those who pick up the 9th and 10th position, 10,000 pesos for those who end up in the 7th and 8th spot, Neptune.
Yeah, and for the 6th, they will be taking home 20,000 pesos. The 5th will be taking home 25,000 pesos. The 4th will be taking home 35,000 pesos. And this is where it moves further up. 3rd will be taking home 75,000 pesos, 150,000 for the 2nd, and a whopping 400,000 pesos for the 1st place.
I am absolutely mind blown by the generosity of Free Fire. Thank you very much, Garina. But it's the players, and of course, it's you, the community, the Free Fire community that has just been hyping up all of these competitions back to back. We want to see a lot more in here, and I'm very sure the players have got everything that it takes to deliver on that particular one. The point system, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as always, from the bottom, 11th and 12th spot gets absolutely nothing. 10th position gets 1 point, 2 points for the 9th spot, and of course, it gradually increases 1 point with each and every single better placement that you get, except for the 1st spot, which earns you 12 placement points. And for each and every single kill, Neptune, the players will be able to pick up 1 extra point for that.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where we usually talk about the balance of both. Well, the placement points as well as the kill points. And from what we've seen, as what you mentioned earlier, if the teams will be consistent enough to go and grab all those kills as well as all those placement, they will be able to maintain their position. Now, speaking of the teams who are in here, we have 3 groups of the league stages. Group A will start off with Ego Oblivions, Goblin Wheels, Monkey Tribe, No Fear, Rev Yellows, and VPH Velocity. And then for the Group B, we have AKO Ligers, Bloody Heads, Equinox, New Gen, The Vindicators, and who's next, AJ?
Absolutely. Group C, of course, we have got AV Crusaders, who have not been having a smooth sailing cruise all throughout the competition. They sit down in the 18th spot so far. We, of course, have Axis in there as well, who are doing considerably better in the 7th position. But, they do seem to be struggling on some of those skills that they seem to be picking up. Black Angel, unfortunately for them, we have witnessed them in action a lot, but in a lot of those action, they were just getting murdered, getting killed. Everyone who were picking points off of Black Angel. So hopefully this week will be slightly better for them. And Eva Radicals, there's just not enough good things to say about them. This has been the most dominant, the most promising team in the whole competition thus far, Neptune. And of course, Vete Esports, those that sit down right behind them in that 2nd position and potentially in the 1st spot by the end of today, if they can outsmart and outplay Eva Radicals and make sure they sneak into that final zone each and every single time. Of course, Trot WYS, one of the teams that are struggling in the competition. That wraps up Group C. These are the 3 groups, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for those who know, that's it. But for those who do not know, we will have Group A going up against Group Group B first, and then Group A takes a short break. Group B goes up against Group C in the second rounds, and for the final 2 rounds, we will have a Group A going up against Group C, like you see right in front of you here.
Yeah, and from the maps that we're looking at right now, we have Kalahari and Purgatory right here. That will be the game, or I mean, that will be the game. The game battle, sorry, battlefield for this team. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of a better word to use for this, because I mean, having Kalahari and Purgatory in here back to back gives a different approach for these teams compared to when we have the first day we have Bermuda, where a lot of teams already played that, and we've seen a lot of inconsistencies as well. Now in Purgatory and Kalahari, the difference is, especially when Purgatory came up on day number 2, a lot of teams just moved up. So I guess this is another chance for those teams to do a little bit better and move themselves up on the leaderboards. And then going back to Kalahari, wherein it's really a skill specific map, so it will be quite different as we go into the teams to watch right now. And I think, AJ, this set of teams right now, who's next, the Vindicators and Axis, these are the teams who have made a lot of difference all throughout the first 2 days of the series.
I absolutely agree with you, and I just absolutely love how production is really keen on picking up the right teams to watch out for. I have to say, in the previous competitions, it was a little soft because we kept looking at the top 3 teams, right? And production most definitely has stepped it up. I absolutely agree with these picks, especially with who's next. Remember, on day number 1, they didn't really hit hard, but on day 2, my friend, they really switched on. They were in full attendance for each and every single one of their rounds. In their Hawkeye, stand-up performance coming through from him. But you know, the backup from Yadop as well as Mavsty has been absolutely stellar as well, right? Who's next, together with the Vindicators as well as Axis, these are the 3 teams that has made the slow approach from the second page, I have to say, from the leaderboards into the first page. And today they will continue their journey. But in the Philippines, it's not easy, man, because the quality of teams that sit above them, you know, the likes of Bloody Head, Go Willem Views, Waytay Esports, Eva Radicals, for example, all of those teams, consistency with the hits in terms of the aggression out there on the battlefield, unmatched. But you never know, Neptune. Anything can happen in Free Fire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams right now move up and down. I don't want to give an example, but yeah, they have certain patterns right there, moving in from one round to the other. I would say some would be for map specific.
Sorry,
I would say Gesundheit at that point if I didn't hear it clearly. But you know, there are some examples of teams who need to be a little bit better of those maps on those rounds that they did worse. And for the week that they had, hopefully they didn't rest. It's not that I want them to be tired right now, but hopefully they're giving out their best despite of being off the tournament and practicing, learning, and understanding how they'll be able to move up further, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, you know, although I make fun of Go Willem Views, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of how they have been able to absolutely bomb out in some of these rounds and really shine in the others. And, you know, I would say they are at about a 60-40 right now. 60% of their matches are not that great, and 40% of their matches are absolutely stellar. But even through, you know, such tumultuous performance in the competition so far, they've hit the most number of booyahs, my friend. They've got 3 booyahs altogether. And on top of that, they sit down in the 3rd position. You would expect, with, you know, their inconsistent performance, for them to have a lesser of a showing in the competition, but no. And so the biggest question here is, Go Willem Views, when are they going to hit their full stride? And when they do, who's going to be able to keep up them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it might be the end of the reign of Eva Radicals, who has been sitting in there on the top. But speaking of the top, we're looking at everyone from above right now. And I think a lot of teams have changed their approach when it comes to drops. And most of the battles might be happening in there, especially with the sites of Monkey Tribe right there, with a new gen, as well as on the east, we have Bloody Heads, who's already going against Equinox from the other side. So which team will be going out first and who will be moving up in the leaderboards after this round? We'll have to find out, AJ.
Raifu all surrounded already, and he gets knocked down. The delete will come through instantaneously. simultaneously. And the first kill goes over to Phaeton from the side of VPH Velocity Morgana. He is unable to spot the other players at the moment, and VPH, all they need to do is just back away from this situation for the time being, continue picking up a few more loots before they can catch another stray bloody head player. The last thing that you want to do is to get super aggressive. But look at the sticky situation that bloody head is in, because as they try to move away from the VPH compound at Confinery, they might just come across the players of Equinox Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And the position of Bloody Heads right there is they're a little bit spread out. I mean, the surprise of that hit against VPH will really scatter them right now. But moving in onto a different team, this is a Monkey Tribe right here who needs to move a little bit up onto their performance. And Pan right there, a smart move to use that glue wall and to pick up their teammate. And hopefully they will not be going down that easily as Miracle goes in for the push. And there goes Reagan being hit. But the time turner has been pulled out. But the backstab might be happening coming from Zeka, and there goes the pitch. A good move coming from Monkey Tribe, and this is what I love about this team. They are improving, AJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, Monkey Tribe most definitely has been stepping it up when it comes to the kills department, because thus far they've just been relying way too much on their placements, right? This is a great way to just turn things around for themselves. So let's just see exactly how will they be able to get out of this situation. Wei Lang being picked up in the most spectacular of fashions just moments ago by Pan. Let's see if or not the Monkey Tribe can keep up this sort of a performance for themselves, because every time they've been challenged in the past, Neptune, they've kind of lost confidence and the play usually breaks down after a couple of rounds.
Yeah, and Nugent right now is not really getting that aggressive because they know their position as well and they don't want to be taken out that earlier. Despite of knowing that it's Monkey Tribe who is against them, they don't want to make that risk. But like we mentioned, a lot of these teams has already given themselves time to learn, to understand how everything will work for their team after the few days that they went into the battle. And this is for them to apply as well as to keep be cautious on some of the tactics from different teams. And AKO Ligers right here, hopefully they learn as well, because we've pointed out a lot of misses from their part from the engagement that they have been going on.
Well, Mikey goes down as well. Smiley on the ground. Huinda will be able to knock Seika onto the ground. And Monkey Tribe will lose one player thanks to the quick action of Huinda. But time is running out for him. He gets taken out as well, as Nugent is the first team to get eliminated, Neptune. But here comes the players from the side of Go Willem Views to pick up any left pieces here. Let's see how they pull this flank off. Monkey Tribe is in a lot of trouble. Embalore now keeping a close eye on them. Sneaking in from the back. Miracle will get tagged up first, and Views will go ahead to finish him off, as Sneaks will be the very aggressive player that pushes up to see exactly how much he can bag.
And Wiz right now has been taken down, but here comes Santino for the backup and going in against one. It is Miracle who will be needing to run away, but there goes, will be taken down. And Balori right now proving that he still have what it takes. Despite of only one kill from this team, the approach that they did, it is a little bit cautious as well as tactical. The spread out from this team, they are moving it up now, going in on this fight. We have Who's Next who has been taken down, and AKO Ligers really proving that they have something to give in this fight, AJ.
Yeah, Kanoho's just popping off those nades one after the other. And now Hawkeye backing away to high ground, healing himself up first. As those bandages get applied, the rest of the players from the side of Who's Next, they get knocked down one after the other like a pack of dominoes. And now Hawkeye backing away. He's going to try to play for placement points, but not if Toby can have anything to say about that. AKO on hot pursuit now, Neptune. It's just a matter of time before the final player gets taken out, unless we see an incredibly smart play coming out of Hawkeye. He seems to have dodged them for a couple of seconds there, and I believe the guy might just survive this. But we jump on over now to VDR as well as VPH. This is another encounter that's going to break down, and one team, which is VPH, might just get taken out because of this unfortunate situation they've just ended up in. They back away. A couple of grenades towards their faces might just do the trick.
Yeah, that might do the trick. And we have Unknown right now going for the flank, but one will be able to see him. It's Janelle right there, just missing that part on the takedown. And a good regroup being done by the Vindicators right now. And Cyborg needs to heal up a little bit, but I think VPH is going in for the push. I mean, the UAV has been released as well, getting information as to where Vindicators are. And this might be a very difficult spot, so they might need to back off, but not really out in the open because they don't want to be shot at from behind by VPH.
Yeah, absolutely, man. VDR is holding on to an amazing position right now, and Eklog just wants to get super aggressive, goes in pressure onto Ritus. Ritus unable to back away, but behind him, there will be Jonel. Vinata knocks down Eklog as well. VDR now overextending, and VPH punishing each and every single one of them. Cyborg gets picked up, tries to heal himself back up. Unknown will be able to spray down Phaeton, shuts him out, deletes, sends him back towards the lobby as well. And this is just ending up terribly for both sides, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a good play indeed. But the backstab in there coming from VPH really put down VDR. And I think there's a chance for VDR to move out from this fight. I mean, we've seen that earlier from the battle from Who's Next. And VDR's only one left for this team. So VPH will be going in the hunt right now. It is more of a hide and seek at this moment. It's a 1v3 situation. And, well, if they are not taken down, hopefully they'll get a good placement later on. And also, there's a battle happening from the far side. If I'm mistaken, that was Equinox earlier. But going back, this is a good play. This is a good play for the Vindicators going against VPH because we've seen VPH go for that fight earlier and they didn't back down. And having that one more member survive for them is still a good play, a chance for them to get more points on the placement.
Yeah, it's good for the survival, Neptune, but I just feel like they got over-aggressive there because, once again, it was VPH in a tough situation. They could have just gate-kept the side of VPH, but they just got over-aggressive. Eklog, he just went pushing in, not watching his back, got over-excited because he saw one opportunity. He didn't really have much of an angle, and he didn't even punish the player that he was, backstabbing in the first place, right? He gets sprayed down way too easily once the other players of VPH kind of report his position over, and that backstab kind of gets crippled way too quickly. And VDR, they are punished by VPH, but that's exactly what you get when you try to approach a dominating team like VPH and try to snuff them out with a shaky, I guess, setup. That was just a failing from VDR in the first place. When I talked about their position, I was talking about grenades because that would have been the best way to flush out those VPH players.
Yeah, definitely. And also there are several parts of that area that you really couldn't rush. So I was surprised as well as to why that one member who already backed off together with Zayo, if I'm not mistaken, that's Zayo on the window right there. They already backed off across that river and they still went in for the push, probably going in for the revive. But if three of the members of the Vindicators just backed off, waited for them to cross that river, they might have a chance against VPH. And that is what a miss. It was a good play initially, but the results really is not that good. But compared to the previous days, like the Vindicators really are improving and more to improve on this part. Hopefully, they will get a good points right here, and then moving forward, get better engagement or better results on the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I would have hoped to see at least one player on the flank, not really going in there for the full commit, right? But perhaps those are the mistakes that they can make early in the competition and then recover later on. We do have No Fear taking up the fight against Go Willem Views this time round. And Balore already cooking up that nade. One's going to come flying through. Oh, Sparky takes him out first with the nade. But the delete hasn't come through just yet. And now, No Fear, they have an opportunity to turn things on the head and really punish Go Willem Views. But Biz is already picking him up. Oh my lord, they will be able to shut down Sneaks first. No Fear have the upper hand now, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they're turning the tables right here against Goblin Wheels. The aggressive team of Goblin Wheels right now are slowly being taken down. Now, No Fear in their hive with No Fear just rushed in. But apart from that, it is the Glue Wall who really saved him. I would say saved him because he might have been taken down in there if it didn't back off, AJ. But there comes Starband for the push and Impetus as well, but will be taken down. We have 3 more members from No Fear, and Valora will be backstabbed, and Goblin will be taken down, and No Fear is doing a great job in here. 1 kill for each member, and No Fear, who we've seen so far, really struggling to move up. This is their chance to move further into this fight. They've taken out the Booyah takers as well as the kill takers on this game, AJ.
That was pretty much a David versus Goliath moment right there. No Fear, a squad that hasn't really been able to find kills in the competition so far, right? 14 kills overall is really not impressive at all from 8 rounds. And they managed to shut down Govilem Views, a team that is sitting down in the 3rd position with 108 points right now in the competition. This is a huge win for No Fear, and hopefully this is the moment where we see a whole new side of them, just like how Who's Next turned on last week in day number 2. Hopefully this is the exact same moment for the players of No Fear. VPH Velocity, on the other hand, Ritus, what a position to be holding on to, because that guy has got the bird's eye view onto AKO, but he just needs to remember not to expose his head too much, because the headshot from AKO side to VPH is just going to be a little bit too easy. So as long as Ritus just plays the game of information, that's going to be great. Ego, on the other hand, sees Twinkle eliminated by the closing save zone, so it looks like the rest of his team members got taken out a little bit too early as well, and the guy just couldn't play the game of survival now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's going solo in there and needs to get away from all the teams who's battling, and getting in their crosshairs really is very difficult for them. Now, Rev right now, Yolo's getting 3 kills already, and still a full squad right here. They might have a chance to go against No Fear on this area, but they will be onto this side of this circle, of the safe zone. And they also have AKO from the right side. So if they try to move in onto the next circle or next safe zone, they might be taken down in here. But speaking of taken down, here is Mark going in for the push and almost taken down as well, with that damage coming from that safe zone. And another team has been taken down. No Fear really is doing some damage right now. And AJ, I love how these teams are surprisingly moving up on those kills.
Ooh, and the safe zone goes towards No Fear. The gods of RNG are on their side today. Neptune Equinox now shut down at his hive. It's No Fear once again getting up onto the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with those kills. This is just a totally different side of them. Ritus, bird's eye view, sniper! Shuts down Seiya, and Toby now needs to go in here for the save. Glue wall as well. Ritus just needs to focus on the right-hand side. Seiya manages to get picked up. Toby the one getting the job done, and now Binata as well as Ritus both focusing on Toby. Ritus opportunity goes in for 1 shot. Great opportunity, great shot taken, but now Toby needs to move on in. Seiya with the pressure as well. Ritus doing so much from up top, Neptune.
Yeah, Ritus right now really not being taken out. I mean, I think he's not sighted just yet, and it is a distraction tactic coming from the rest of the team. Unfortunately, Binata has been taken out in there in this fight, as well as another member. So it's only 2 members left for VPH. Janelle right now taking some damage onto the safe zone. Might be going in against 2, and there goes the hit by the play zone. And VPH surprisingly being taken down despite of having a good position in that fight. Now going to No Fear. No Fear going in for those hits, for those kills, and Rev has lost 1. It is Benny Sue who will be eliminated in this game, and there goes Sparky for the rush, and there you go, Rev. Yolo's eliminated by the team who's on fire.
On absolute fire. Now Bloody Heads with just 1 kill in here so far. They should be focusing onto auto knockout now, because auto knockouts already started firing up at them, which just gives No Fear the perfect opportunity to be the third party, to be the final team, to pick up all of the remaining pieces at the very, very final battle. No Fear now opening fire as well towards AKO. Will be able to spot Bloody Head from a side. Oh, Kanoha! And this time, not only the nades, he's got the grenade launcher as well, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, the grenade launcher in this small safe zone will be very useful. There you go, Kanaho going for the kill, and No Fear has been eliminated, but I think the kills is still more onto them as Mote right now trying to gather up the rest of Auto Knockout with the 2 teams remaining right here with 3 members against a 1. I think it's only Chairs right here trying to go in for the pickup. It's a 3v2 situation and slowly moving in, closing in this gap, and Morgana right now really getting those grenades up, going in for those hits, and if the damage goes on, it might be a win for Bloody Heads right here, AJ.
Oh! Well, Cheers knocked down already. Morgana, he will be able to spray him down with the LMG. Oh! Got him! What a nade! Bloody Head couldn't stand up against them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but the one final player, one final shot, those nades was not enough. Goes on to No Fear, who definitely showed absolutely zero fear in this round. I believe that was the very first time in the competition that they are on such hot performance, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they might have had a slow start. I mean, like some of the teams, Bloody Heads, we've seen them. Slow start and then slowly moving up, getting those kills, getting those placements. And as we can see, Bloody Heads right now really making their mark in this game. And like, No Fear might be the next team that will be calling out as well, just like Bloody Head is right now. And then they have a good position of, well, when you're down, there's no way but up. And that's what No Fear is doing right now.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, I just wish No Fear had just been a little bit more calm in that final encounter, because there was no need whatsoever to start firing. There's no need whatsoever to start shooting, right? But when we look at the final battle that kind of broke down between the players at the final circle, between Bloody Head as well as, what was the other team that was up against them again, Neptune?
AKO.
Yeah. This was just a situation where they could have just left these 2 teams to deal with each other, right? They were already low on those skills, and they were really focused on picking up some extra kill points in that final zone. Obviously, this was not information that No Fear was privy to at that moment, but they already had enough kills. They did not need to get aggressive in that final zone. They did not need to look for any opportunities whatsoever. They just needed to focus on their very first booyah of the competition. They just needed to focus on those 12 points. And the way they could have done it was just by playing possum, just opening up a couple of extra glue walls, backing away from both of those teams, and just playing defensive. Similar to what AKO kind of played against Bloody Head, right? They knew that they had already lost their best player with the grenade launcher, Ganoho, and what they did was just stick to the edge of the zone, open up a double glue wall, and just waited for Bloody Head to approach them. That is what they should have done. And if at all No Fear had done that, what would have Auto Knockout do? They would have tried to go in there for the approach, and you would have seen the third party coming through from that right-hand side, and it would have just been a great finisher for No Fear, because it was an amazing start for them, Neptune. It's just a little unfortunate that it didn't end up on their side.
Yeah, I mean, the kills that they have gathered already all throughout that round, plus taking the booyah, just in case they were aiming. Well, I'm pretty sure they're aiming for the booyah. It's just that with that quick second. Yeah, you were right. With all those points, if they backed off a little bit, use the glue walls as well as all those boulders. There are a few water placement in there as well, who might be wherein they might get the disadvantage because Bloody Heads is just across. So that is the only thing. They might have ended up second at that point, because AK is already taking in damage in there from a Bloody Head. So hopefully the teams are hearing this and do those adjustments on this game. That's what we love about these teams who are making adjustments, and that's how we love this game. Why we love this game, because they are also evolving like everyone else in this fight, AJ.
Oh, absolutely, man. Monkey Tribe, very unlucky today because they started off great, but then, later on, Go Willem Hughes just strutted on in there, hearing all of those gunshots, and they just thought, okay, Monkey Tribe, easy kills, let's pick a few kill points off of them, and they just went to town, man. And of course, Bloody Heads, they were able to get into that final zone. Hawkeye from the side of Who's Next, they weren't able to run away. It was just an unfortunate situation. The fight between VDR and VPH, VDR were the aggressors, and they paid a high price for that.
Yeah, definitely. And here comes Wills once again, who went in, finishing off Monkey Tribe, but earlier on has been taken down by No Fear as we look at the screen. And, well, No Fear really went in, start aggressive, goes in against a different team, goes in aggressive as well. And then VPH, this is a good placement from Retus right here. And I'm just quite surprised, AJ, why no one bothered to look up and shoot him down.
You know, let's talk a little bit about Ritus, right? Because although he had the bird's eye view, although he had all of the information to work with, there was something that he did very, very wrong in that final moment, which really kind of eliminated his whole team, right? He didn't tell them to start moving sooner. What they were doing was they were so focused on knocking down the AKO players, and at the end of the day, even Ritus didn't jump off his high ground, and the zone kind of forced him in. AKO, the team that they were gatekeeping, made it into the final zone. So that was just an unfortunate bad play by VPH. Hopefully they step it up later on. But look at this, man. Bloodyhead picking up the 12 placement points with a booyah, 5 kill points overall, 17 points. But the one and only No Fear equalizing the points, sitting down in the 7th spot with the 17 points. This is something that they can most definitely feel proud about. But just like Go Willem Views, they have to make sure that they, unlike Go Willem Views, I have to say, they have to make sure they don't really, show us the inconsistency with these hits, right? We want to see them chug out similar records all throughout today. Let's see if they can keep that up. AKO Ligers, this is a different side of them. Day number 1, they were lit. Day number 2, they were kind of subdued, and maybe they're just trying to step it up this time around as they pick up 16 points in the 3rd spot. VPH Velocity is sitting in that 4th position, 11 points overall. Once again, Neptune, just that one mistake of Ritus not moving early enough, because at the end of the day, you pick up some early kills, which they already had through some good fights, but they just did not go in and position themselves better. Reveolas, we didn't spot them all that too much, but 10 points in that 5th spot. Go Willem Views, inconsistency continues, and today they start off on a bad note with 5 points in the 6th spot.
And Vindicators in there also balancing it up with 5, the same as Equinox. Well, Equinox right there, we didn't really see them go in for those fights. The placement point was gathered by them, and they have been taken out. I think it's only one member remaining from them before the final battle has really ensued in that fight. Monkey Tribe started off great, but was finished off earlier by Wills. They have a good start. They just need to maintain, and like probably after each engagement, there is a possibility someone will be third partying you. So just back off a little bit, regroup yourself, and then move away. Ego Oblivions, on the other hand, we've seen them just move out from the battlefield and being taken down one at a time, and Nugent as well. We've seen them go in for those for that fight against Monkey Tribe, and they are still not aggressive. But I think they need to put a little bit more of aggressiveness from their side, because they might have a chance in there against Monkey Tribe on that battle. Now, who's next? On the other hand, we've been praising them, but this time it's not their time. They have been taken out earlier in this game, and probably it's just a surprise of having some other team jump on the same drop side.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. Because usually, Hawkeye especially, but towards the very final moments, we did see some, final second decision making coming through from those players of who's next, right? Hawkeye just telling some of his team members, go in there for the full commit, buy me a little bit of time. I need to back away from this fight. We need to play for placement points. And that was the moment where they kind of realized what they needed to focus on. But unfortunately, their pursuers were just super aggressive and super thorough with the way they were searching through that area. The guy gets caught out either way, and that has ended a little bit too early, if you ask me, for the team of who's next. But it doesn't really matter, because that's just opportunity number 1 that they've squandered. They still have 3 more to go today.
Yeah, definitely. Each group has a chance to go in or go into the battle 4 times. So one's already down for A and B. Another game will be happening in here. We're done with Kalahari. We're moving into Purgatory. So some of the teams right now are really, really good in this map. We've seen them from last week. And Purgatory map, I think, is more of skill specific as well as tactics specific, though it's pretty much the same as Bermuda with the greens and all, but the water placement as well as the compound ground placement right here really makes
Yeah.
a difference in this play. And some of the teams really capitalize on those tactics and
Mhm.
like put in all those fights, either getting kills from afar as well as
Yep.
getting a good placement point because of the size of the area. So this
Mhm.
is where some teams are taking advantage of those points.
I cannot help but agree. And of course, the sheer size of Purgatory itself, it's beyond intimidating. But the one way where you can manage the amount of distance that you need to cover is by getting yourselves a little bit of help, grabbing a couple of those vehicles early game. But it also comes with a set of consequences if you get caught outside. So even getting those vehicles, it's not a surefire victory for yourself, but all about how you manage these situations. Feitan actually bringing in the Yeti, I believe. And the Yeti, a brand new pet added into the game, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, reducing the damage that you receive from explosives. And it's really, really helpful, especially in that final zone, because you know just how much those explosives are utilized in this game, nephew.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see a lot of teams right there getting the grenades, getting the grenade launchers right there, and this is a good defense against that. Now, unless they have other tactics right here, other skills that
Oh,
may
oh.
help them follow up on the skills that they're getting for this pet, then they can use it. Phaeton right now a little bit too bold on that push, and I think it's more of getting information. Going
Yeah.
back as quickly. That is a smart move right there. And ready for the follow-up. Seiya
Ooh.
right now. Almost taken down, AJ.
They have information, but they don't have full information. They don't know who they're taking on. They don't know if they can get super aggressive. But now, here comes the push, the flush from VPH, ladies, German boys and girls. Let's see if or not Phaeton will be able to get over aggressive. Instead, what he does is circle around the rest of his team members, making sure his own compound is clear, just in case they need to back away from the team that is in front of him. And this is something that I absolutely love about the side of VPH. And now, as Phaeton does manage to maneuver around their compound, I think he might be able to spot two of the players from AKO, because this is very useful information. Because if VPH gets air that the team of AKO has gone in here for a split, that one player that's astray, he's not going to have a great time in here at all. Too easy of a takedown for VPH in the early rounds. AKO won't like that, and they will struggle, nephew.
Yeah, I think what you just mentioned in there of the tactics right there, going in for the backside, looking for
Mm.
enemies who might be there. It's working for them because as
Yeah.
we move in there, or before we moved into Monkey Tribe, we saw
Mm.
most of their teammates of BPH moving towards that free area. So
Yeah.
information has been set. Some members of AKO is in front of them. We can back off a little bit, gather a lot
Mm.
more of loot, and probably flank them on the other side. So great plan indeed. Now, Monkey Tribe, on the other hand, we've seen this before, and if I'm not mistaken, this is coming from Gobilam Wheels. They're taking advantage of the edge of like the waters right here to get
Mm.
a good position, probably look for information as well, and no one will be backstabbing them, AJ.
Yeah, and of course, Bloody Heads, they will pick up the ski lodge for themselves. And for the time being, it looks like they are not going to be touched, as all this loot belongs just to them. And yeah, they have got a wonderful time in here. And the thing that they most definitely will be focusing on this time round is picking up some extra grenades for themselves, man. Because if only they had it on, it would have been much of a lesser pressure on their shoulders to shut down AKO in that final zone, right? Because it was AKO that was playing so many of those grenades in that final zone, and the pressure was just unsurmountable. And even as Bloody Head, kind of closed that gap against them, my heart was beating. I was thinking that Bloody Heads, they might just overstep and they might see a grenade come fly through, in the nick of time. But the one place where Bloody Head just kind of turned things around is they split up. And the one
Yeah.
thing, if you're all grouped up, that nade can do a lot of damage. Once you split up, that's exactly what gave that final player a little bit of leeway to take that final kill, right? So Bloody Heads, they have that counter, but in terms of losing the number of players in those early rounds, they just have to find a way to keep it a little steady. Now, Vindicators going up against Monkey Tribe. How do you fare this ending, nephew?
Yeah, I mean, Monkey Tribe have a good position right here, but the split up might be questionable because VDR, the Vindicators, are all stick together. So wherever they go, Monkey Tribe will be pinched, and those from afar will be going in. But Miracle right now going for Eklund and goes in
Oi.
for the elimination. So Vindicators might be in a very difficult position. They are going for the grenade gameplay on the roof, but I think those members are already moved out and might be getting the information onto the other teams from afar, sniping from that hill, AJ.
Is Eklog having a bad day where, he's just like, I'm not interested to play Free Fire. I just want to end these rounds as quick as possible. The guy has just been on fire in terms of rushing in and dying, right? So over aggression, not going to do them a lot of favors. And Vindicators, they most definitely are not going to be happy with Eklog's performance so far. Hopefully, they will be able to find a little bit of a change in terms of strategy, because they can't even take the guy out and let him rest and bring in a substitute. They only registered 4 players in here. So the Vindicators, I think today is going to be a tough day for them unless some changes or some drastic changes are made, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what they can do right now if one member of their team is really not working that well, going rushing. I mean, we know Eklog in there. He's a rusher. He really wants to go in and get those kills, or probably get the information while taking kills. So, but a
Yeah.
duo probably a buddy system from this team is a good
Correct.
approach for this, because despite of
Yeah.
going in for the rush, 2 members will be in there. A pickup can be made, glue wall can be
Yeah.
set up, and they might be able to go for the hit before or after being taken down. So if they can use that as an approach moving forward, or even from this fight, because as they know already, Seika is from above, so they still
Yeah.
have a 3v3 situation right here in front of them if they can hide out from Seika. So if they go for that buddy system, and then one will be moving from afar, a chance for them to go in for the pinch, I think.
Well, Seika with a lot of pressure, but Zio still able to turn things around. Wait Lang knocked down with a shotgun, and now Unknown turns his attention towards Miracle as well, and it will not be easy. Pulls out the glue wall in the nick of time. Not a lot of damage will come through. Wait Lang gets shut down as well. Seika from up top is unable to do much, and VDR, they will not get disturbed. And here comes Miracle for the push onto Zyborg. Zyborg just turns around, pulls out the time turner, opportunity to go in there, and now they all run into the time turner. Welcome, my friend. This ain't no open house. Unknown gets knocked down onto the ground, and it looks like Monkey Tribe, they strike back as well. Zio now getting taken down. Seika doing a lot of damage from up top. Oh, Seika! Seika! What a snipe! What a play, Neptune!
The savior of the Monkey Tribe in there from above, raining bullets against the opposing team. And this is not a questionable move. Seika did a great job in there. Every time that one of their teammates are being pinched, Seika is in there going in for the hit, and they have no time to focus and going in for the elimination. Thus, only Wait Lang has been taken out of this game. Otherwise, the way it's moving earlier on this fight from the ground, like Seika might have been the only one surviving that fight.
Yeah, and may I say, the movement out of Seika, I'm not talking about positioning. Obviously, positioning, it was top-notch, immediate response. Seika moved on to the high ground. He knew as a sniper, he needs to give that backup, and he cannot give that backup if he's stuck in a small little corner where he might get rushed. He takes the higher ground. He knows he can respond well if anybody comes in there for the rush. And the most important thing here is the movement of his player model. He does not stay static in one spot. He does not expose his head at the edge of the cliff. He continuously goes in a circular motion just to take those peaks, just to get that information. And the moment he sees his opponent just getting a little bit over aggressive, that's when Seika turns on. That's when he goes in there for the strike. And now, Govilum Views not in a great position, because it will be the airstrike on their spot, danger zone, and VPH velocity right outside, which means Views can't rate. Quite honestly, they can run out of this spot if they wanted to, but it will be running directly into VPH. So they kind of stuck at the moment, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm thinking about how well Seika did that earlier. And from the side of VDR, I think Seika is an itch that they cannot scratch at that moment because you try to aim but you cannot see. You try to shoot but you cannot hit. And
Mm,
Seika in there doing great jobs, like what you mentioned. The way Seika is rotating on that hill, moving up and down, still getting position and information for the teammates, and that is what we were looking for earlier from Retus
yeah,
as we saw him from the high ground, and it has been
yeah,
applied in there. Monkey Tribe really are
yeah.
evolving, and probably we'll see a Gorilla Tribe in here by the end of the series.
Hey, I agree with you, man, but I have to also highlight that the Vindicators, they made a couple of mistakes as well, right? I mean, first of all, obviously, Eklog, he rushed in. That was a terrible move from him. We talked about that already. But the part where they could have recovered was Cyborg. Cyborg, he did have the long-range engagement capability, and he did spot Seika up there on the hill first. But the guy, instead of, just focusing on taking Seika, which is the biggest threat, by the way, to VDR
Yeah.
in that position, instead of just keeping his crosshairs on him, punishing Seika every single time he rotates and sticks his head out, instead of doing that, he chooses to go in there for the cheap kills. And when you get cheap kills, my friend, you trade your own life sometimes. And that's exactly what happened to the Vindicators, right? So good on
Yeah.
these players for being able to bag it overall. Hopefully, we will get to see Monkey Tribe as well as Seika continuously step it up in the competition. I absolutely love their vibe in here today.
Yeah, definitely. And that means I would say it's more of prioritization, risk and rewards
Yes,
in there.
amen.
And
Yes.
hopefully they make that work moving forward. But speaking of making work, we have Bloody Heads right now going for the battle. And there goes another. And this is where that pet that you mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
that will be useful, the damage for any
Oh,
of the
yeah.
grenades right now, especially with like these teams are really hot on the grenades, always
Mm.
having them using them, finishing them off, not even towards the end. So a lot of those will be lessened with the skills being used in this game. It's a good thing that they're also integrating the skills and their tactics, or the skills into their tactics, and hopefully
Mm.
more combinations will come up out of this tournament that will be learned by the viewers out there.
Yeah, Auto Knockout, they just want a little bit of revenge right now, but they better be careful what they ask for because revenge might just come looking for them. And Ribeolis is just on their right-hand side, and I believe AKO has got no idea of that situation whatsoever. So this very easily can turn out into a 2 versus 1, which AKO does not want, especially because they are down by 1 man. But of course, we take a quick peek at the players of Equinox as they will be taking on a couple of opponents in the name of Ego Oblivions, which is quite the, I want to say, equal matchup, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much on a performance standpoint, it is equal for them. But like we've seen, this is the first day of this week, so there
Yeah.
might be some equals from last
Mm,
week that is not right now because some has already learned and are probably putting out those pocket
mm,
strats like we've seen earlier. So
yeah.
in terms of the current stats, yes, they are equal. Equinox, on the other hand, they have a good combination of Yeboy as well as Xiao in there, especially Diffusal. Diffusal is doing some damage in there from the previous matches that we've seen, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, Ego, they have got some stellar players on their side as well. It's just what's difficult for, oh my goodness, bloody head. They will enter the compound of Equinox. And now, opportunity, information gets sent back. Mounty gets knocked off of his bike. And will he pay a big price? Oh, on the ground. Sorry goes in for the delete as well. And bloody head, they're trying to get out of the compound. Will the rest of the players now come in here for revenge? Yes, Mark with the shot with the car from afar. And he'll get the delete as well. Unfortunately, No Fear will face a similar situation against who's next off screen. This is just chaos breaking out, and No Fear gets taken out in the 11th position. Let's see if or not Equinox gets shut down as well by Bloody Heads, or they turn things around. The grenade launcher in the hands of Zhao might just be the breaker of gameplays on the side of Bloody Head as they just leave Ego Oblivions and now go in versus 3 situation.
Yeah, and this will be a pinch right now for Bloody Heads because the moment that we can Equinox get a better footing in here inside the safe zone, they might be gate kept in here by Equinox, and Bloody Heads right now is being shot at Diffusal telling them to back off a little bit. We need to run into the safe zone and to get a better position, but they won't be getting that much of a better position because we have another team from the other side. The one that they're targeting earlier is Ego Oblivion, and we are seeing down after down after down. Equinox right now, I think they are going to lose this one because they are pinched right now, AJ.
Oh, Zhao. He grenaded himself with the grenade launcher. That's the most unfortunate thing to do in a competition because the grenade launcher can bag you a hell lot of kills. But look at Sorry just holding on to this tree like a tree hugger, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nature lover. But Sorry gets eliminated because nature didn't like him and the safe zone was just a little too strong to handle them too.
Yeah. And here comes another team. New Gen has been taken down by Sega in there with a grenade launcher. And, Monkey Tribe Sega already with 5 kills and still about to do more damage. Going in and taking this compound right now. They're in the middle of the pack and in the middle of the safe zone. Fidel right now going in against Churs, but no! Missed that opportunity for the backstab against Churs, and Churs will be able to move away, but they still have 4-man strong squad right here. And Ganoho will be eliminated by the play zone, and BBH right now finishing them off, taking that point. 3 kills already for this team. Not that much, AJ, for this team, despite of the placement and the number of teams is already in here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Not that much at all. Riviolas now getting shut down by Govilum Views. Govilum Views focusing on VPH as well. Phaeton getting shut down by Santino. What in the world is going on? Jonelle down on the ground. Oh, Govilum Views! What in the world? They bagging it in this time round, my friend. They bagging it everything. And now, Monkey Tribe, they're still alive and kicking. They will be facing off against AKO in a couple of seconds. Ego gets stuck in front of Govilum Views. This is just battles all around the battlefield. And Ego sneaking on in there. So much of pressure by Embalore. Santino will be able to shut down Twinkle, and Govilum Views just focusing, hyper-focusing into the players of Ego. And now Vinata from the side of VPH, he might be able to take a couple of backstabs or the attention of Govilum Views. Either way, it's not great for Ego.
Yeah, Ego right now is pinch, a chance to be taken down by Wheels, and well, they were able to knock down Santino right here, but will pick up. Now, we have Maisan on the other side, who might be going in on a 1v2 or 2v1 situation against Binata. Binata's the only one remaining for BPH right here, and not that much of a chance to go in. Now, who's next from the minimap that we're looking at might be going in against Monkey Tribe first before going against Wheels, but that needs to be seen as Santino goes in for that hit and eliminating VPH Velocity right there. Ego also eliminated by Santino, and we're left to 4, AJ.
Oh, Monkey Tribe, what a performance in day number 3. And now Govilum View stepping it up as well. 7 kills in here so far. Sneaks backing it away as they play the edge of the zone. And the elevation of the hill just puts them in a situation where nobody can take those shots against them for the time being. But look at this. Monkey Tribe, they have got the elevation, but they just have to be very careful with the way they play this safe zone. Cheers. Now in the corner, but Funky out of nowhere with a stray nade will be able to hit Miracle. And Monkey Tribe loses one of their heavy hitters, but Seika's still alive and kicking. Don't forget, he has got the sniper and he's got the grenade launcher in his hands as well. Pan healing himself out in the corner of that safe zone. They finally will be able to spot Hawkeye, and Hawkeye shuts down Santino, gets the kill as well. Still alive and kicking, but Govilum View just turns around. Who's next is out of the lobby. They 2 versus 2 more teams in here, and Seika gets taken down. Grenade launcher not working. Pan sneaks. Monkey Tribe shot down, and they make a comeback.
Govilum Wheels right here. Well, we called them out in the first round. They come back strong in here on the second round. The Booyah in here with Santino and MVP. Embalores, Santino, Sneaks, Svek, and Wheels, proving once again that they can get another Booyah in this game. And AJ, this is what we're talking about. If they're doing good, they're doing great. Taking a booyah, taking a lot of kills, but unfortunate for them, they are still getting some points of the rounds or some points of the game wherein they are at the bottom half of the team. So if they work that through, getting mostly probably middle and then top, middle, top, they will be taking the leaderboard that short amount of time.
Govilam Hughes reminding me of my, not one, but a couple of my ex-girlfriends who always just blew hot and cold, you know. This is one time you think they're gonna be this, but then they're really angry. One time you think they're gonna be angry, but weirdly they're super happy. You can never predict them. And Govilam Hughes is unfriggin' predictable. And here this, dude, you're absolutely right, man. In the previous game, they kind of didn't show up at all. As a matter of fact, they picked up the 6th position with just 5 points overall, which, if you ask me, with Govilam View standards, super disappointing. But they don't disappoint continuously, consistently, because they always find a way to step it right back up. And usually when they step it right back up, they hit the booyah as well. Once again, my friend, the team, the squad with the most booyah in the competition so far. The most booyah in the Free Fire Challenges Philippines in the hands of Govilam Views, but also the team that blows as hot and cold as some of my exes, Neptune. I cannot wrap my head around how they meet both extremes. That's why I broke up, by the way.
Yeah. But it still works for them. I think it's a more of I don't know. I'm thinking of pocket strats right here that, yeah, we can be bad, we can be good, and then later on we'll just be good.
I want to believe that, but no, it's sometimes borderline embarrassing when they play bad, right? But Govilam Views needs to figure it out for themselves. And okay, you know what? As I am being super critical of Govilam Views, let's give them a little bit of love as well. This team that has blown hot and cold at such extremes have still managed to maintain the top 3 positions for themselves in the competition overall, which is just phenomenal, which is just absolutely stunning. And you know the golden ratio of balance that we talk about with the placements as well as the kill points. This team, they started the day off with 53 placement points and 55 kills. Talk about a golden balance. Talk about a golden ratio. And they kind of hit the golden ratio with the number of games they do well and absolutely suck in as well. So that's the one golden, that's not a golden ratio. In fact, that's a terrible ratio if you ask me, right? So hopefully today is the day. This moment is the time, Neptune, that we see Govilam Views pushing aside some of their bad performance and give us some of the good consistency. Because when they turn on, it's just absolutely fantastic to see them in play. But speaking of teams that turn on, Monkey Tribe's been on fire.
Yeah, I want to comment on that as well, because we've seen them go in for those kills. Yeah, they didn't get as much placement. I mean, the highest placement that they are aiming for, but they have a good placement, a good kills from the first round. Now, most of us will be thinking that it will be a fluke because it's Monkey Tribe really was not performing. But right now, jumping into the second round, going in for, if I'm not mistaken, it's 9 or 10 points as well as they ended up that round. This Monkey Tribe really growing on us, really showing us that despite of what position you are on the leaderboard for the first half, there's still a chance in you to slowly creep in. And at this time, I think Monkey Tribe not slowly creeping in. They are forcing their way into that top 5 leaderboards, AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And you know when Monkey Tribe picks up just like about 5 or 4 points, and I say that they're really performing, right? Because unfortunately, that's just the kind of role that Monkey Tribe has been on. And you know, you don't want to pair them up against AV Crusaders and compare them, but unfortunately, that's exactly how they have not really performed in some of the rounds. You know, really lurking at the bottom. This time round, man, really stepping it up for themselves. Govilam Views once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, bagging the booyah, 12 placement points, the most in the competition, and 11 kill points to go with the golden ratio as well, 23 points overall. But the team that has been stepping it up, the team that might just go in here and transform into that King Kong, like you said, Neptune, at the end of the competition. Are they going to be able to do that? We don't know, but in this round, they turned on. 20 points is absolutely impressive coming out of them. Who's next? The team that we have got our eyes on, the team that kind of bombed out in the previous round, this time round with the 7 kills as well as the 8 placement points. Not too shabby at all, 15 overall. VPH Velocity, although they do not step it up, they maintain consistency overall, because in match number 1, they got the 4th spot, 11 points. Match number 2, they get the 4th spot as well, 8 points. I'll take that, right? Better than the lower half of the leaderboards. AKO Ligers with the 5th position, 8 points as well. And Ego Oblivions this time not making it into the final zone. They pick up the 6th spot for themselves with the 6 points overall, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good position right there for Ego Oblivions. At least they're in the middle of the pack. They have a chance because so far for the past few days, their placement in there has been consistent on 13th, if I'm not mistaken, for day 1 and day 2. So they need to get those a little bit of push from the placement point and definitely from the kill points. Now, speaking of kill points, we have Bloody Heads who really started the league series in there, really making everyone bloody in here, and not quite sure what happened with the break that they went in through. Bloody Heads right now on this round is lagging a little bit, so hopefully they get their momentum back. But as we move forward, these teams from the bottom half of this round standing, they need to make their move now, because yeah, it's early into the series, but if they don't move, everyone else, like Monkey Tribe, Goblin Wheels, who has been like not consistent really, but moving in there steady on the top, will be pushing them down even further.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. No doubt about that at all. And, it's just unfortunate that No Fear got knocked down a little bit too early this time around after performing so well in round number 1. And you're right, Neptune, with Bloody Head hitting that booyah in round number 1 and not really showing up in round number 2 really does concern me as well. Overall in the competition, if they want to maintain the top 5, you can't be seeing things like this, right? Bloody Head just needs to fix this a little bit for themselves, but it's expected as we go in here and continuously shake things up in the competition, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And, just when you think the teams are going to get comfortable, after week number 2, we will have the shake-up of the groups and things get turned into turmoil once again. Once again, it's Bloody Head who picked up the booyah number 1 at Kalahari, and what you just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Govilam Views once again turning on the bright side as they pick up a convincing 23-point booyah in Purgatory.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing how Goblin Wheels in there, who's I don't know, I can't put my mind around it. How and why that is happening for them. It's already like day number 3 and still the same pattern. So it is possible. I don't know. It's just me. It's possible that is intentional, but right now, AJ. Right now, Goblin Wheels has taken the first spot in this game, despite of the way they're moving up and down on these for each round.
I absolutely agree with you. I am mind blown, my friend, as to how Govilam Views just managed to go in here and pull this off. But we also have to remember, Neptune, that the most dominant ones in the competition, EVA Radicals, they haven't had an opportunity to play yet. They haven't had any opportunities to kind of protect their rank in the competition. And of course, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will be seeing them in action because Group C will be joining us as Group A takes a short break in a little bit. But of course, Bloody Heads stepping it up from the 4th spot into the 3rd position with their performance in here. This one is something that I definitely like to see. But with the inconsistency of these rounds, the question is, are they going to be dropping in that rank by the end of the day for themselves? VPH Velocity in the 4th position, 111 points. Vayday Esports, 109 overall. But just like the players of EVA Radicals, Vayday Esports, they have not jumped on in just yet. Who's next in the 6th position? A good climb for them with the 88 points. AKO Ligers in the 7th spot with the 87 points. The Vindicators with the 78 in the 8th position. And Equinox with 73 points in the 9th spot, Neptune.
Yeah, from the 10th spot, Axis right here. The ones that we called in as a dark horse of this game, 2 booyahs already, and a total 72 total points. Now, they have a chance in there to move up further, and I think the way they're moving, the way they're, unless they drop the ball at some point, they can maintain their position going into the grand finals. Now, Monkey Tribe, on the other hand, in here, moving in on 11th place and really slowly, well, like was that forcing themselves up the leaderboards and probably moving over to the other page of this leaderboard. We'll have to see further on onto the series. Now, No Fear, another team that who went in strong for the first round, went in a little bit slow or weak on the 12th round. Probably some circumstances not onto them. We want to see more of them. Rev Ayolo's in there with 50 points, tied out with Ego Oblivions. Black Angels not yet playing, and Trot WIS 34-33. New Gens and AV Crusaders in there as we look in to the MVP of the 2 rounds, Govilam Wheels Santino, with a total damage of 2368, 6 kills, 3 assists, and 55.2% on a hit rate, AJ.
Hey, they'll take that, man. I mean, Govilam Views, they already have Embalore all the time picking up the MVP. I know that all of you want to see Wiz picking up the MVP for herself as well. And I think the lady's most definitely getting there, and the rest of her team members is seeing that support come through from Wiz. But I really want to see her step it up as well, man. I mean, Santino most definitely has shined in the competition so far. Embalore has stolen the spotlight quite a number of times. I'm just waiting to see exactly when will Wiz whiz her way through. But with 2,368 on the damage and 6 kills so far, like you said, Neptune, this guy most definitely a hot shot of the competition.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen him a lot of times in there in the kill feed, taking down a lot from afar. So,
Yeah.
it's no question why he's the MVP of the first 2 rounds. Now, you did mention that Wiz is another member of their team that, like, most likely going in there on the MVP, because Embalore is more of a dynamic gameplay, short range, long range. Santino, on the other hand, it's more of a long range gameplay. Now, if this pattern goes on, they take the booyah every time, and as well as all those kills, then at some point Wiz will be going in there because of the tactics, the support, as well as like how she put himself in a position but yet avoiding all those gunshots in there, especially with the tricks that she has up her sleeve. So yeah, probably Wiz might be the next MVP once Goblin Wheels is given a chance.
Absolutely, man. With the camouflage, I just can't wait to see more of her in action. And look, man, Govilam Views, 4 booyahs in the competition so far, Neptune. The most in comparison to the rest of these teams. Inconsistent as hell, but one of the best teams in the competition. And Eva Radicals, on the other hand, super consistent. They've been super aggressive with the kills, but Govilam Views is very, very, very quickly catching up to them, and that might just put Eva Radicals on notice, but not in the league stages, right? Not as they try to get into the grand finals, because I think both of these teams most definitely have booked their grand finals ticket for themselves already, but it's more towards who's going to be able to grab that #1 spot, because a lot of pesos on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is gonna be game number 3, but game number 1 overall for Group C as they jump on in to Kalahari. It will be, though, game number 3 for Group B as they stay on. Group A with Ego Oblivions, Govilam Views, Monkey Tribe, No Fear, Rev Aeolus, as well as VPH Velocity. These 6 teams will be resting as they will join us back for game number 5 as well as 6. And now, once again, instead of the space that they have to worry about, they have to worry about this vertical advantage that this map gives their opponents, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And apart from that, I'm looking at the data right now coming from these teams of ANC. And in the map of Kalahari, the most consistent teams in here when it comes to kills is Govilam Wheels as well as Eva Radical. So the top 2 will be battling it on, and this is a chance for each of them to push one down from that spot. So if it's either Goblin Wheels perform in here, which is most likely to happen, they might be able to maintain their position despite of having Eva Radicals against them, or it might be the other way around, AJ.
Oh, no knockdown, and even Radicals will be able to strike early in the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, the most dominant, the most aggressive team in the whole of Free Fire Challenges Philippines, the one and only Eva Radicals. And just as they drop on in, they just choose to shine. And VDR, they were just jetting it out of there, man. But Unknown just couldn't get away in time. And as they back away, they just put themselves in a situation where they're going to run into yet another team. But this time it's AV Crusaders, so that's not something that they're going to have to worry about way too much. Auto Knockout, on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, new gen right in front of them. Neptune, how do you think this is going to fare, since Auto Knockout doesn't really have a great compound here with these two players?
Yeah, I mean, Auto Knockout has this spot as their favorites because we've seen them most of the time on this area. So they're familiar on how to work around or themselves around this area, despite of only having duos right here. But we'll have to find out. A 2 against 4 is most likely against AKO right there. So they need to back off a little bit. Now, going back to AV Crusaders, you mentioned AJ that VDR might be going against AV Crusaders, wherein AV Crusaders really not performing that well. So hopefully that change as what we've seen earlier from other teams. So it's more of the changes between the teams who are really not performing, moving up onto the leaderboards that we want to see. And then it will be a real battle royale when it comes not just onto the game field, but as well as the leaderboards right here. Now, AV Crusaders will be going in against Equinox, and a good start in there coming from Meow. Sorry has been taken out. No backup as going in for that yet. And Meow right now is healing up as the rest of the teams are going for the rush. And Equinox might not have that chance to recover and recuperate from that loss, AJ.
Okay, and now no need to play, but Morris! Oh, smart play with the skills. Oh, but puts himself right in front of Zhao, and Zhao knocks him down on the ground, but Papa Zeus is there for the backup. And yeah, boy gets knocked down, but Papa Zeus now back on the ground, and Equinox finishes off AV Crusaders and makes that look like a piece of cake. Only one casualty in the name of sorry that they had to sacrifice, but Zhao, truly the absolute killing machine, the absolute wall of China for the side of this Filipino squad. He did not allow anyone to get through to his team.
Yeah, and when we thought AV Crusaders has a chance to go in and finish them off, they have a good position, they have a good start in there for the knockdown. It's just the follow through that's missing, and they don't have like one of the members right here, they have a clear view but doesn't have a cover from the side, so easy for them to be taken out. And I think that happens for most of the members of AB Crusaders. In most of the time they go in for the battle, they have their chance to go in for the kill, but no really good exit strategy thus being taken down in there. And Equinox was in a pinch, to be honest, AJ. Equinox was in a pinch. I was hoping for the best for AB Crusaders. Unfortunately, it has been turned around.
Let's see what New Gen, on the other hand, make for themselves, because Auto Knockout was, in quite the unfortunate situation earlier. Doesn't seem like any one of those players took advantage. Not sure if they spotted them. Quite difficult to think that they didn't. But let's see, of course, how they manage this situation a little bit later on. VDR, as they back away. Eva Radicals not easing off at all. Now Zyborg, as he tries to get away. One nade in hand. Will not be able to pop out the glue wall. He needs to conserve it. Only one in hand. He has got 2 medkits left on him. Zyborg is running out of time and is running out of resources. He can only stake 1 defense. So he needs to play this really, really well. Really, really smartly for himself. Perhaps try to catch up with the rest of his team members as much as possible before he goes in for the fight. Time Turner pulled out. Fury should be able to shut him down, but Zyborg gets out of the Time Turner in the nick of time. 2-on-1 situation. Jumps through the window. Amazing movements out of Zyborg, but the numbers game will catch up. And it's actually Tanamo that hits him from afar.
Yeah, I mean, the struggle, the effort of these 2 members right here has been wasted by the steal coming from Tanamo. But still, I mean, that is a kill for their team. That's still good, a good tactic indeed. But going into AKO, New Gen right now is being rushed, and Yunda is going in New Gen. eliminated that quickly. Kanoho really. At some point in most of the fights, if he is on fire, he is on fire. But he's one of the first of AKO as well, who usually is being taken down. Thus, the
Yeah.
loss of this team is, I mean, the composition of this team is greatly affected.
Yeah. I understand that, mechanical wise, Auto Knockout most definitely the better squad in comparison to New Gen. They most definitely have proven in the competition that they can pick up way more kills. And in fact, I believe they can pick close to 20 kills or even more than 20 kills. Let's do the math here real quick. 25 kills more than New Gen can in all of these rounds that they've played so far. But the difference here is New Gen could have struck first. And they could have struck in a situation where they didn't really have to worry about the repercussions because of what we were talking about earlier. When the first time we spotted AKO, they were holding onto the side of the cliff. They didn't know New Gen was there. There's no way in hell New Gen did not see them. They held onto their own compound. They didn't move out of that house. And in the end, that one small compound just made it way too easy, especially for a perfect grenadier, the perfect Kobe from the side of them to just go in there. Kanoho is just super aggressive with the nades, and they get way too easy of a wipeout, right? And AKO Ligers, a team that is not super dominant in the competition, just made very easy work of New Gen. And this is where we want to see those adjustments coming in from New Gen, Neptune. If playing passive just doesn't work for you, try to get aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the passiveness that they have, especially in this map, they're at like 0.25 average kill on the number of maps that they played already on Kalahari. So aggressiveness might be the answer for them, or probably a push, a motivational push for them to move even further. Because the way I'm looking at it, they're waiting for their chance to get the booyah, move themselves up on the leaderboard with the number of points, and then switch over to go in for the kill, which is really not happening. And well, I think it's insane that they keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Absolutely, man. So insane indeed. PDR, all Eklo can do is just laugh at his team members because I'm pretty sure they were shitting on him for rushing in, and maybe this time they rushed in. Eklog having a good time. You see, it wasn't me. It's just a tough day for the team.
We're talking about insanity, and just so Eklog in there laughing solo. So yeah, I would say Eklog right there. And you know, Eklog is in Filipino, Eklog is or egg in Filipino is itlog. So Eklog is somewhat related to egg. So yeah, fun fact for all of you guys who don't know the meaning of Eklog. So right now he's not 0 out just yet.
I'll tell you this, Neptune. There's a lot in a name, and and this is why it's really important before you name your children, before you name your pets, especially before you name yourself in a game. You want to give yourself an empowering name because people grow into their names. And the guy right now is a boiled egg out there on the battlefield. Let's see if he can step it up. Hawkeye. Okay, let's talk about Hawkeye. All right, the guy gave himself a name. He's not the most hardiest of champions out there, but he's most definitely a sharpshooter. He grew into his name. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But plus the extra pull or push with that extra E. Hawkeye!
Hey, man, bro. Well, unfortunately on the ground, and Eva Radicals with Tanamo making this look way too easy. And Axis, unfortunately, will be moving right back to the lobby, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's very rare to see Eva Radicals go in there to shut down a team and not be able to bag the best from that situation. Unless it's a third-party situation, unless it's a fight going up against a crazy, unpredictable team like Go Film Views, you know it's going to be Eva Radicals. But look, Laurie has got a gun on him, which is a SMG. It's perfect for those close-range combat. So he's doing the right thing here. He's waiting for Eva Radicals to come in here for the push and not over-aggressive. Eklog, on the other hand, the guy is done laughing, takes a couple of shots against Eva Radicals. And he might as well continue laughing, man, because he's going to be sent back to the lobby if he continues. And he's dead.
Yeah, Eklog in there or just spent his time in there laughing. Zio's the only one remaining, but still, this is a good play. This is a good play indeed for Axis because the trigger discipline that they have,
Mm,
can they might have a shot in there against Evil Radicals as they
yeah.
move away, but the trigger discipline right
Yeah.
they have
What?
might
What?
be their survival. But no, this might be the end for them as Barber goes in against Mr. Hong and Nathan right now, face to face. 1v1 with a great one with Danamo in there with the backup. We have a Barba finishing them off, and we have Evil Radicals 6 points already. Now, have to find out, will this guy survive from Axis against a Predator,
You
just
know-
like Evil Radicals? And the answer is no. Laurie right there, right, didn't have a chance to be very, very quiet, like what we've seen right there. Just eliminated on this fight.
Oh my. Morty falls to his death as he tries to get away from Weite Esports, and Graifu cooking up that nade. A lot of these maze or glue walls for Weite Esports to back away from, but they make quick work of it as they get away from that situation. One knockdown was all they needed, but that player just gets picked up way too quickly, and Weite Esports, they don't want to stay around. They know Bloody Head will give them a bloody head if they make one move wrong, and they make the right move by backing away. And now the high ground belongs to Bloody Head, and Weite Esports unfortunately sneaked into a very tiny corner. Ooh, Equinox with the nades against the players of Eva Radicals. This is a situation which Eva Radicals might not be expecting. How will they get out of this, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, boy, right now, really raining fire on them. And on the other side, it's Sao taking out Viewer. So this might be it, the pinch. A good tactical gameplay coming from Equinox, going in spread out and hitting the fire against, putting out the fire against Eva Radicals. Yeah, boy, still alive. And there goes Sao for the hit. And Viewer eliminated in this fight. Another kill in there against Bloody Heads by McRory, and the Grenade King definitely will be able to hit that. But on the other side, Bloody Heads is still putting it back against McRory, and Morgana in there for a multiple hit. And there you go. As these teams already squish in to each other, this might be a chance for some of the teams to get extra kills in this fight.
Oh, this is the perfect test for Eva Radicals. They're taking on two feeder teams at the same time. But you know, the numbers game is most definitely superior than mechanical skills sometimes. And Black Angel now, they go in to finish off Eva Radicals. Tanamo right in front. Arfaf taking him on, and I believe he's got the LMG on him. But Tanamo, LMG going up against a sniper, close quarters combat, and Tanamo just knocks him down like he's absolutely nothing. Shuts down Arfaf. Siasi right in front of him right now. Diffusal throwing those nades one after the other. Final player on the side of Eva Radicals playing survival in here, and Black Angels can't do jack about that. And Zhao will continue taking those hits, and 6 kills so far. The sniper, he has got the grenade launcher on him as well, and Equinox bagging quite a lot from just this one guy. And are we going to be able to see Tanamo just turn things around against him, because he's closing that gap as Equinox now focuses on picking up a few more extra kills for themselves.
And Equinox right now going in 2v1. Well, I think they haven't spotted Tanamo just yet, but here comes AKO right now from above. A good position from them, their favorite spot to be exact. Then they are just shooting down against Beta Esports. Forbid is stuck in there, no way out. They might be pushed right now into good move as well by AKO. This is their chance to take out or go away from that elevation and then move slowly into the safe zone. And we'll have to see, will AKO really prove us wrong that they have lost it already, or I think this is a chance for them to really gain it back. And Forbis in there still going in for those kills and say eliminating WYS in there. Black Angel unfortunately taken out, and here we go. We have AKO, and that one solo member from Beta Esports is still alive and kicking, AJ.
Oh yeah, man. But Tanamo from Eva Radicals, he's still alive and kicking as well. Finally shut down by Forbits from afar. Finally shut down from Forbits as he takes that previous angle right below AKO. And now Forbits, he's outnumbered. Auto knockout with the best position in here. Who's next? They do not have a compound. Running straight into Kanoho. He has got the grenade launcher. Hokai, it's shut down by Seiya. And it is auto knockout that will bag the Booyah in here. And it is absolutely fantastic as they are able to prove themselves beyond everything else. Not a great performance in that round number 1, but they do manage to pick up the top 3. In round 2, they kind of bomb out in that 5th position with 8 points. But with the booyah now, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, they will be able to soar up into the top 5 finally, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had a good start on the first day. We have the second day we have the second day right now, right then, also where they tanked. Now, there's a chance for them on third day to move themselves higher. And this booyah, plus the points that they have and the kills that they have as well, I think it's more of the map that has that given them the advantage, because we've seen them so far. AKO Ligers in there going in on this map, always taking the high ground, taking advantage of the distance, making all those kills from afar. That is their specialty. Now the question is, will they be able to maintain it when they're not when they're not in on that map? So Kalahari might be their game, their playground, but outside of it, how will they fare? Will they be consistent just like the other teams who have been doing so well despite of what map they're playing on? And that's what they need to work on. But still,
absolutely,
still, congratulations to AKO Ligers right there for taking that booyah.
Yeah, I cannot help but agree with your points, because you were spot on with AKO Ligers, right? They just need to be able to find this consistency on maps apart from Kalahari. And when you go into a map like Purgatory, where it's just so wide open, so much of space between some of these compounds, multitude of compounds in here to go in here and play, AKO just seems to be finding it a little bit difficult, although not impossible, to rotate into the final circle. But maybe this is the game that will, put their momentum back right on the right track. And of course, we have one more matchup in here for Group B to go up against Group C, ladies, German boys and girls, but that will continue right after the break. We're not going to be jumping into a break segment just yet. We still have got the highlights of this previous matchup for us to catch up on. But overall, it's just really nice to see some of these teams who weren't really doing well last week finally be able to step it up little by little. I mean, previously we kind of saw Monkey Tribe from Group A be able to slowly move into that final zone, but now Black Angel, they were able to impress us as well. And to a certain degree, I really have to say, Equinox with the plays from Zhao, they are very, very impressive in here today, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, a chance for them, like with the the days that have passed by, there's a lot of chance for them to review everything. And like we usually say, the first week is a chance for them to get their information and then apply it on the following weeks. So hopefully they are applying it and then adjusting little by little to get that sweet spot to get themselves up onto the leaderboards. But hopefully that doesn't take them that long, because some of the teams right now is not slowing down onto taking that top spot.
Oh, absolutely, man. This was the first opener of the day, opener of this match that Zhao proved to us that he most definitely can step it up. And Eva Radical showing us a little bit of the aggression as well. And we did witness Auto Knockout punishing New Gen for not being proactive in some of these encounters early on in this matchup. Those that aggress most of the time will be able to bag it, especially if they've got the mechanical skills to go through with it, right? Yeah. And Eva Radicals just reminding me of that show that I watched on Animal Planet once, where people go and catch rats, where rats just dig tunnels, and what these guys do is they just go to the one end of tunnel and they start smoking the tunnel, right? And the rats just run out from the other end of it. You just hold a bag, and now you've got a bag full of rats. And that's exactly what Eva Radicals did, man. They knew that the safe zone was coming through. That's your smoke. There's one tunnel, one way in, one way out. We go in here, we're going to be able to bag some crazy kills. And this map awareness and awareness of how many points they can pick up for themselves, because look at this, right? They don't even make it into that final zone, but Eva Radicals, as consistent as ever with the aggression to make sure they do not fall 2 behind compared to the rest. Of course, AKO Ligers, on the other hand, they turn on. They will be able to bag that booyah for themselves with the 11 kill points, kind of equalizing the performance of Go Willem Views in match number 2 that we just witnessed. And Beite Esports, a team that we most definitely expected to rise up to the top, in the 3rd position with the 14 points. Who's next? Looks like they've managed to find a little bit of their rhythm with a terrible opener. In the previous match, they got the 3rd spot. This time around, they pick up the 4th position with 11 points. Equinox rising up to the 5th position this time around with the 10 points. And Black Angel, this was one of those teams that weren't really able to find those final moments of the game, always getting taken out in the early phases. This time, they play the game of survival a little bit better. And clearly from the kill points, you can see that they weren't really going in for a lot of these engagements, which I absolutely agree with Neptune. And that's just the reason why I think Black Angel is definitely a team we should be keeping our eyes on moving forward as well. Let's see if some of these strats works out for them. But for now, those strats only gives them the halfway point of 6 points, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And moving into Vindicators, they are doing well on engagement as well, but not really much onto the kills. I mean, positioning, getting information as well, but it's more the execution after that plan.
Correct.
Will needs to happen. And does no kill points and placement points of 6, well, they will be able to move themselves up a little bit more. Bloody Heads, on the other hand, only 4 points, 2 placement as well as 2 kills. Not really too bloody for our taste in there for Bloody Heads, but I think they are still warming up at this point. Trot WYS, not really seen that much, so probably hiding in onto the shadows and trying to move themselves. And Axis, on the other hand, it just unfortunate for them to go against Eva Radicals earlier into game, because most of the gameplays that they have, yes, they have good gun skills, was able to they were able to get a few kills well, as well as a placement, but going against Eva Radicals, who's not backing off, it's really the end of them, thus taking only 1 point right there. And New Gen, unfortunately, also being eliminated. But going back to Black Angel, we mentioned earlier that wherein some of the teams might have a tactic wherein they need to get the placement point first and then move up with the kill points later. So I think this move of Black Angel, and we might be seeing more of them moving forward with matching kills on this leaderboard.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Because so far with all of the engagements that they've gotten themselves into, Neptune, they haven't been super promising in terms of being able to deliver those skill points to the audience just yet. And, you know, it just seems to be something that's impossible for them to find. But I think they shouldn't be shying away from that opportunity. So, but it doesn't mean that I disagree with their current strategy. I absolutely agree with their strategy, because if you can squeeze yourself into the top 12 and have a double shot at picking off the consolation prizes from both the league stage as well as the grand finals, as a squad like Black Angels that's very new, trying to build themselves up, it's not a place that you have to be shy about at all. In fact, it's great that you are able to earn for yourself as you are trying to build your squad up. It's just that they have to start focusing on some of these high-level engagements, because you need to die a few times, man. You need to die a few times, and you need to learn from those experiences in order to be able to take some of these big fights, or you're not going to be able to stand a chance. Not in this competition, not in the next, but hopefully they will be able to find those right after a quick short break.
Get too close, and you'll get frostbite. True control is controlling your environment.
Hello, survivors, and welcome back to the Free Fire Challenger Philippines. We're in 3 down already on the matches that we have in store for you. 3 to go, and by the end of the day, we'll be able to see how the leaderboards has been racked up, has been shaken after this battle from this team. We are your hosts and casters. We're here to bring you the story, the highlights, as well as our inputs on how these teams are doing well and not so much in this game. I am Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia. Together with me is amazing, the legend, Mustachio AJ.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Neptune. You know, today, 3 games, 3 different teams who picked up that booyah. In terms of consistency from the top teams, we most definitely see Gobilum Views in there, Bloody Head going in there for the hit as well, AKO Ligers. You know, in terms of the name, in terms of the brand, most definitely a top team. But in terms of where they stand in the competition so far, they're still, you know, just lingering around the middle of that leaderboards, right? But overall, with the momentum that they've built for themselves in that previous round, hopefully they will be able to secure a few more points for themselves. But you know, one of the great ways that you can secure points for yourself in Free Fire, Neptune, is by making sure that you're gaming on a perfect gaming device. And that is exactly where, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can depend on our sponsors, because the Free Fire Challenger Philippines is sponsored by Infinix Note 11S, a powerful smartphone with the Helio G96 Ultra gaming processor. 120 frames per second, you've got it. This is just absolutely untouchable, and you get to fire up your game and get this right now for just 9,990 pesos, which is super cheap for what it promises you, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely you'll be able to fire up your game with Infinix best-selling gaming smartphone. Once again, this is the Infinix Note 11S. And as a official sponsor of Free Fire Challenger Philippines, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys want to get this, because this will really up your game. Up your game in terms of performance as well as the graphics, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons why a lot of the younger content creators have jumped on into mobile gaming instead of console gaming, instead of PC gaming, is because, you know, the entry point is just so much more cheaper, right? But the problem is, in the mobile industry, the phones are getting as expensive as those consoles. In fact, some of these phones are way more expensive than consoles, you know, almost matching up to the professional PCs that some of these gamers use, right? So with a price point of 9,000 plus pesos, it's just mind-blowing what that, you know, provides the Filipino audience a cheaper price point to get into the world of gaming, a cheaper price point for you to start practicing some of your plays on, to become like the pros who you see on the screen here, who have the ability to excite people like you and me, Neptune. And I have to say, I'm a tough guy to get excited. Like, I'm a tough guy to impress, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, you really want to see the best out of the best out of this team. And well, so far, these teams, some really meh. But right now, some of the teams really are impressive. So for those of you guys, if you want to play and impress, go ahead and grab that phone and also watch the tactics of this team, because so far, The teams have evolved so much. A lot of tactics has been in play already, switching from map to
Mm.
map, round after round. Teams are evolving, so I can't wait to go into the next map, AJ.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that I kind of noticed as well is that Go Willem Views, one of the ways they are able to maintain their perfect ratio is they do not get over aggressive in some of these encounters. They do not overextend like VDR. They most definitely do not go looking for kill points the way Eva Radical does. And that actually brings me to the point of discussing Eva Radicals, because why are they not reigning at that number one spot right now is because if you look at the difference between their kill points as well as placements, they're not really ending some of these games in the way that they want to. As they go out focusing, hyper focusing as a matter of fact, on these skill points, they're losing out on a lot of these opportunities in that final zone. They're losing out on a lot of those booyahs, which gives you those precious 12 points. So although the kill points is keeping them in a comfortable spot, they really now need to start keeping their heads down and focusing on that final zone gameplay. Eva Radicals this time flying straight in towards Central, and they might just come across Trot WYS early, as they will choose the Lumber Mill. Equinox is in there together with them as well. So a lot of early gunshot noises going to be pulling the attention of Eva Radicals, who, as you know, Neptune, are on the hunt for kills.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're always there for kills, but it's still a good point for them, or for them was what you mentioned earlier, that they need to get that
This is
balance,
rare.
the golden
Mhm.
ratio between these kill points as well as a placement.
Oh.
So if they manage to do that moving forward and still maintain aggressiveness and good tactics, then they might be going in there unbeatable on the first place. But right now they're not really taking that much point out of the placement, more of the kills, which right here, as the team
Ooh.
other teams has evolved, is really preventing them to get more, AJ.
Bound! Barba
Woo!
tries to run away, but Sorry makes him pay for knocking down a player. And now Barba out of the equation already. And just when he thought Eva Radicals were going to be able to punish Equinox, Equinox turned things around. Fura catching a player. Defusal now onto the ground. Is he going to be able to snuff him out? Yeah, boy. Not exposing himself. Smart plays coming through. Fura has only got one grenade in his hands. Spots Zhao as well as Sorry. And now Fura knows that he's in a lot of trouble. And this is what I was talking about. Early aggression, over aggression, kind of eliminates the opportunity for Eva Radicals sometimes of going into that final zone. Now, they might be able to overcome Equinox because, mechanically speaking, Eva Radicals, they're on a whole other level in comparison to Equinox. But Equinox is quite a solid team as well. And just with the takedown on Barba, they've managed to prove that they can hurt Eva Radicals as well, right? And this is a hurt that Dynamo will be trying to keep down. Aguila stops right behind him, trying to take this right back into their hands. Yeah, boy, taking that fight up. Fura almost down onto the ground, but manages down. Yeah, boy. And this is an opportunity for Aguila to turn around as well. And together, they shut down Equinox. But the damage has been done with that over-aggressive nature of Eva Radicals. Losing Barba early in the competition, losing Barba early in this round is just not going to do them a lot of good in terms of picking up that Booyah, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen them survive further than other teams with 1 to 2 members, but like that doesn't work really all throughout the end, because some teams will be smarter. As like some of the teams in here will be moving in smarter all throughout the end of the series, and seeing
Yeah.
these teams who are going in, all they have to do is take one, back off, go back and fight them, take another one, and they might be out for good. So Eva Radicals, a little bit of change of tactics right there. Though we know Eva Radicals, the moment they pick up a gun, they go in for the gunshot, the gunfights, and that is where the radical nature of this team starts. But they need to rethink it a little
yeah.
bit more, because those with a good momentum, as what you mentioned, Beta Esports maintaining their passiveness, well, not really over aggressive, but they
Yeah.
have their tactics with the placement as well as the kills. And then
Mm.
Goblin Wheels in there, who starts off with kills and then make the placement later on. They
Yeah.
will be overtaken by the teams.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you just need to find that true balance for yourself. And over-aggressive teams have never been, the biggest winners overall, because they, in fact, help out some of these smaller teams, because as they go out there super aggressive, they hurt themselves very early on in these rounds, and that kind of gives the number advantage to teams like, New Gen or Black Angel later on, as they kind of come across these bigger teams, because that numbers advantage just allows them to overcome them. Speaking of, some of these teams that are not really doing really great in the competition, New Gen, the last time we checked in on them, they were in the 17th position, only 8 kills overall in the competition so far. Nothing seems to be working for them, Neptune, because every time they come across a team, it's almost an instantaneous down for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of they try and move themselves up, switching from one tactic to the other, but it's a little bit too slow on progression between this team. I mean, they are going in some fights that we're in, they are successful, but it doesn't maintain moving forward. They stick to it, and there's no plan B, plan C afterward. So it's more of, yes, you already have those that work. You just need to find an exit strategy, as well as a plan after that. Once you have lost probably 1 or 2 of your members, and then continue, or slowly but continuously moving yourselves up with the kill points and the placement points.
Yeah. Vete Esports is definitely one of those teams that I'm confident is playing possum. there's just no way that Vete Esports kind of fell off the radar just like that, right? It has to be intentional with the way that they play, with their positioning, with the accuracy of their players. They have most definitely been one of those teams that are untouchable, because you just have to look at the composition of players that they have, right? McRory, let's go, Forbits, Damon, and when they have Toxic in there as well as their substitute, it's just a stellar lineup of crazy, capable Free Fire players. But, when you look at their overall performance in the competition, VPH velocity is, above them with 111 points. So, overall, Vete Esports on the leaderboard is not showing their true capabilities just yet. And if Govilam Views is kind of playing possum, you have that suspicion. I'm almost confident Vete Esports is definitely not wanting to show their full prowess in here. So in that grand finals, on the other hand, we most definitely assured a good time in that case, Neptune.
Definitely. And here we go. I think we've seen Black Angels in there go in, pulled up on the corner, but is now being taken down by the Vindicators. And there you go, 1 by 1. Black Angels right now falling from the ground, or falling onto the ground, and Zia right now, and the rest of the Vindicators still unfazed. No one has been taken out just yet, and I think this might be it. Arf in there was able to go in for that hit against Zio and eliminating, and here we go. No, that's been taken down by Arf as well. And Black Angels might best be the Black Horse in this game, going in on a 1v1 with Cyborg, and Arf is just backing off and not really being taken down. And Cyborg has been hit with 101 HP remaining, and Cyborg in there will be pinched, and there goes the kill, but still a good play in there. And for them, they have a bad placement in that area, AJ.
Oh, yeah, it was a terrible start for them, but a good recovery, an amazing recovery by Arfarf. And I believe No Fear is going to, sorry, not No Fear, Who's Next is going to be able to overrun that situation. And as I say that, Tokyo will be able to shut down Eklog, and the delete comes through. Vindicators eliminated by Who's Next. And now Vete Esports will be able to spot AKO with the help of Kanoho, who gets super aggressive from the get-go, not knowing exactly who is in front of them. And he does have a vehicle with him, which means he will be able to close the distance between himself as well as the players from Vete Esports, and a little bit of a distraction might be coming through from the courtesy of the players of Axis Esports as well in this situation. So all AKO needs to kind of do right now is just stay put. Morgana cooking it up, but Morgana, he won't be able to shut down Mikey, and nobody is able to push him at all. Yes, the Morgana cooked up of that nade is solid once again. Reagan taken down, but the pickup should come through in a couple of seconds for New Gen as they try to scramble their brains. Morty right in front, and he will get shut down as well. New Gen has got Winda and Mikey to depend on. Morty just making it tough for them. Look at the composition from Bloody Heads as they try to stick together and focus in all of their shots at the same time, Neptune.
And there you go, Nugent right there. That's what I'm talking about great execution of the plan. Yes,
Oh yeah.
some of them has been taken out, but the pickup is done. Backup system is working for them as well. No one has been eliminated, and the mechanical skills coming from this team are really working for them. Bloody Heads is really in the go, but picking up another one in the go. Many esports going against Axis once again, and Axis right now not really going too aggressive against these sports or against Beta Esports because they know that Beta Esports will not go down that easily, and they need to be tactical. They need to plan it out better than the other team.
But McRory, he has got the grenade launcher. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, even without the grenade launcher, this guy is an absolute killer with those nades. And auto knockout now, putting on a lot of pressure. And like we said, this third party from the side of Axis. Oh, they will be able to spot one player in the name of Damon. Damon gets knocked down from the back. Let's go on the ground as well. And Beta Esports, the biggest loser in this competition, as Gall knocks himself down onto the ground with the nade. Misplay! Misplay! McRory, the nade king with the grenade launcher, will be able to get 2 knocks. But he himself will be in a lot of trouble right now as the numbers will overrun this situation, and Axis can kind of back off as auto knockout focuses on taking McRory out of this equation.
But AKO right now is going in for the push as well. They have turned the tables on the side of Axis despite of them. Here we go! Axis has been eliminated that quickly. The moment that AKO move that space closer to them, but there's still one member from Beta Esports right here who might be able to survive just in case. AKO is a little bit lenient, but I don't think they will be doing that, AJ.
No. You see, here's the thing. They saw 2 teams fight, which means they need to eliminate 2 teams. They managed to catch one team. They shot a couple of players. They know Beta Esports is here, but they did not see Beta Esports get eliminated from the game. They know something is wrong. Danger zone still active. AKO cannot get super aggressive, and McRory, he's cooking up that grenade launcher, waiting for these players to step on up. And now the play from McRory, the moment he gets a knock, he needs to finish it off because he will be overrun by these players and the numbers game will catch up. So he needs to make the most out of this opportunity now, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his hopes really is that everyone goes up against him, and he might be able to go take 3, move out the window, and then take the other one from afar. But that needs to be seen later on. As we go in, we have Eva Radicals right now. They've already lost Barba in here. Tanamo is really doing well on that long distance gameplay, and he might be able to take down Trot WIS in here solo as the other teams or the other members will be going against Bloody Heads. But no, from afar, Floki for the hit. But Mark in there was able, or no, Tanamo has been eliminated in here with the help of the Bloody Heads from afar. 2 members left for Eva Radicals, and I don't think they might be able to win or survive this unless they move away, AJ.
Yeah, they got to back away, and Fura's just in a terrible position right now. Look at Mark just getting up onto high ground as well. Fura will be spot out, but they will get distracted. Bloody Heads, they see WYS Trot right in front of them. Fura getting out of that situation, trying to play the game of survival as Trot WYS keeps the attention of Bloody Head. Morgana popping out the grenade launcher will not be able to catch anyone just yet with the 5 kill points in here. Bloody Heads, they are most definitely hungry. Hawkeye gets eliminated by the save zone. Mark will be able to shut down Shanks as nobody's able to pick him up, and Trot WIS already hurting as Bloody Heads the biggest winner in this particular engagement, because remember, even the knock onto the player from Eva Radicals was taken by Trot WIS and stolen away by Bloody Head.
Definitely, I mean, an additional for them with less effort. But Bloody Heads right now, I think they're moving back because they know the position of the team of Trop WIS, despite they were able to knock one out and eliminate this from this game. But they need to get a better position, probably gatekeep them at some point, and that's what's going to happen because they've seen the circle, the safe zone that will be moving in a bit, and the position of 2 of the members right now. I think Loki is already down, thus he's not moving, or probably he's just waiting for a chance. Oh, he's down, and it's only 2 members, so a gatekeep might be happening in there, and it's smart move from Bloody Heads to really start ahead instead of being late and being taken out or gatekept by a different teammate.
And then the worst thing is he actually got taken down not by those players but by a trip mine left by an Ava Radical player, and it's just by chance that he stepped onto it. Dying out, getting knocked down, and unfortunately, Cheers will be able to find the kill on him. And AV Crusaders, as usual, stuck in a very, very tough position as they try to find the better angle for themselves. But on a bridge, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is one of the worst places to take a fight. You really have to depend on your resources. Those glue walls are important, and this body of water is just going to keep them separated from the players of Auto Knockout. And look at AV Crusaders just playing so much of pressure, although the safe zone is just super aggressive with them as well. But they know that there's not much of traveling to do before they get to a safer spot, Neptune. Bloody Heads, on the other hand, this time, they will focus in on taking down the players of Who's Next. But Tokyo turns around, knocks down Morgana with a headshot, and he will be able to find a kill if they hurry on up. But it looks like Who's Next is not getting super aggressive with this fight just yet, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. With the two members in there, Tokyo and Funky right now, and they don't know who's up on the sides of Bloody Heads. And here you go, the rush right now coming from Bloody Heads, and they will not be waiting for the safe zone to be closing in. They want to take these teams out, go against a different team in the sense of Eva Radicals, who might be gatekeeping them, and they need to clear out this area. And there you go, Morgana was able to go in for that grenade launcher against Funky, and Tokyo right now for the hit against Morgana, but backup is on, and the rush needs to be done. Otherwise, they will be lost right here, and Tokyo might be surviving. But no, they won't make that happen, as Who's Next has been eliminated, and Bloody Heads needs to run quickly into the safe zone.
This is exactly why I fell in love with Bloody Head in the first place, man. Look at them, and I cannot just feel this joy in my heart when I see Bloody Head perform, because of how inconsistent they were in the past, and how much all of that focus, how much all of that hard work and perseverance has paid off. I mean, it's very rare to see a team put in this much of effort into anything, and I really commend Bloody Head for that. And they seem to be bringing all of that momentum in here, and now right onto the right, ladies, German boys and girls, inside of the watchtower. Eva Radical standing on in there, and they will see a nade flying in from the side of the players from AV Crusaders. They manage the situation for the time being, but they also have to focus on Auto Knockout as well, who are across of that water. They cannot take their eyes off of Eva Radicals. This is a four-way fight that Bloody Head chooses to stay out of for the time being.
Yeah, and Bloody Head right now not really getting those shots against AKO. They're out in the open, but despite that, AKO right there going in for those hits, and it's only Meow remaining for AV Crusaders. And once they go in for that push, they will have a good vantage point, get a better position within the safe zone, might be able to gatekeep the rest of the team. So Bloody Head getting closer onto the other side as well, with Eva Radicals and Kanoho right now rushing in together with Toby. And there you go. Oh, a smart move, a little bit quicker to get across, AJ.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And Bloody Head with a great opportunity to get into the final zone without going in and having to swim all the way across. And Auto Knockout will get super aggressive with the rest of the players from AB Crusaders. And the final battle now is starting as Morday now gets knocked down by the side of Cheers. Seiya in action as well. Bloody Head gets eliminated way too quickly from this equation, but they have got two more players to remain. And Mark is getting picked up, but Cryfu gets knocked down instead. They trade each other out. 9 kills in here so far. Bloody Head has done enough, but can they position themselves to pick up that booyah as well? Toby makes it difficult, in fact impossible. And Eva Radicals with the game of survival. Aguila taking on 3 players all at the same time. The numbers game might just outsmart him. He has got the double vectors, sprays down Toby, but the numbers will catch up as Eva Radicals gets eliminated, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What a performance, what a stand-up performance by Auto Knockout, because this is not the first time, but second time, and in fact 2 times in a row they hit that booyah.
Definitely. I mean, this is a chance for Auto Knockout to really say to our face that they're not out just yet. I mean, this is them coming back after all the call-outs that we have made. Seiya, Dryan, Chers, Toby, Kanoho, and Jiboiwa right there. And Kanoho surviving up until the last. I would salute that guy who really is doing a great job with the kills as well as survival this time, and bringing, and the rest of the teams, the composition, the coordination that they have, surviving for the final round in there, and really taking another booyah for the team.
And this is where I want Eva Radicals to perhaps tone the aggression down just a little bit, right? Because the capability of getting into that final zone most definitely is there. But the fact of the matter is, they just keep allowing those numbers game to get that final advantage against them. And although they are such a supreme team, although they are such a dominant team when it comes to these gunfights, it's just not being proven in that final zone as they get overwhelmed with the numbers. Auto Knockout, on the other hand, you don't really see them, at that top 3 all that too often, but it is the way that they play some of these matches. It's the way that they take and manage some of this aggression from the other teams, right? They do, like even earlier, I believe it was VPH Velocity, if I'm not mistaken, Ritus, who was keeping an eye onto Auto Knockout. And this was a position where you ask the right question. Why was Auto Knockout not really focusing on Ritus? Why didn't they take the kill? Although he was just a sitting duck out there at the very top of the map, it is just that Auto Knockout knows how to prioritize some of their objectives in this game, and it just seems to be working in the best way possible for them, right? And they've managed to bring the consistency in here with these 2 back-to-back booyahs that they've picked up for themselves, which is absolutely impressive, Nephew.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back to back. Not quite sure if we've seen a back to back so far. We have start and finish from one of the two bloody head. Government Wheels, multiple, but back to back. Really, this is a good start for this team, and as expected, AJ. I mean, they've had plenty of days to think about their tactics, how they want to go in and start up this week of tournament and auto knockout right now, really doing some damage against some of the teams tactically, smart with discipline as well. And it's a good point in there as to why Retus was surviving in. It's more of the decision making that they've done, trying to survive with if not most, if not all of their members, and then pushing hard later on once they are in a better position. That is what AKO is doing great right now.
As a matter of fact, look at where that brought VPH Velocity, right? With this, unhinged aggression that they had as they were trying to look for those kills. They didn't really even get to that final zone. They kind of set that out as Auto Knockout, focusing on that objective of playing that final zone, just continuously finds this momentum for themselves. And my friend, they were on a 16-kill run with 12 points, 28 overall. With just this game, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, including the previous match, they've managed to bag 51 points for themselves, blowing our minds in the process as well. And here's the best part. If you add up their first 2 rounds, because remember in game number 1, they didn't do that bad either. They got the 3rd spot and 16 points. My friend, AKO Ligers are on friggin' fire today. And of course, Bloodyhead kind of, keeping up with them with the consistency on their own. 9 kills overall. Very impressive with the 8 placement points, 17 overall, Neptune. Eva Radicals maintaining their consistency of not getting the booyah for themselves, but being able to sneak into the top 3, 9 placement points, and they could have done slightly better with the kill points, but overall 14 is not too shabby at all. Who's next? Managing to get into a position where they picked up 6 placement points for themselves, but not so much of aggression shown out there on the battlefield with an 8-point overall as they take 2 kills in this round. AB Crusaders purely focusing on placements. I love it. Keep it up. 7 points is amazing for them. Vayday Esports this time, I kind of feel they bombed out. It was a little bit of a disappointing round with 5 points overall as they only managed to find 1 kill in this lobby, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I think Vayday Esports at this point, they are trying to move a little bit higher, but they were taken down in their. I mean, there's a lot of third party, fourth party happening against them earlier on, or third party actually, and then there's only one member from them, and off screen that one guy has been taken out. So I guess there was a little bit more patience from McRory, but some teams are really too. I mean, they want to get and eliminate Vayday Esports right there, or just get 1 more points, and that might have happened when he just tried to move into the next safe zone. So we just have to look into that. Trot WYS, on the other hand, same as AV Crusaders, going in on the
Mm.
placement points. So hopefully this this race, or probably this plan on perfecting getting the placement points from these teams, will end, or probably is now over, and we'll be able to see more of the kills from them, because we haven't seen that much from this team. And
Mhm.
going back into the last 4 rounds that we've seen, so round 1 was taken by Bloodheads, that was in Kalahari. Purgatory was taken by Goblin Wheels. AKO Ligers taken from Kalahari on round number 3, and a back-to-back in there on Purgatory. So I would say they are not map specific on the gameplay. They have been consistent in there and showing us
Yeah.
they are in the move to take that top spot.
Oh, absolutely, man. AKO Ligers overall in here today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. They've managed to bag, let me just take a quick calculation in here, 94 points. Insane, Neptune. They have managed to bag an insane number of points in here for themselves. Let's take a quick look at the overall standings. AKO Ligers, they started off in the 10th position today, and now with just the performance in the back-to-back 4 rounds, bagging 2 back-to-back booyahs, they slide on into the 2nd position comfortably for themselves. Nothing short of an amazing day for the players of AKO Ligers. Eva Radicals, with their performance, managing to catapult right back up onto the 1st position with their consistent performance in the competition. Still one of the least number of booyahs, but better than no booyahs at all. 70 with the placement points, 85 with the kill points. You can still see that their aggression is keeping them afloat at the top, but is it going to be enough to keep them as the apex predators of the competition, as some of these other teams now really start to find their stride? Go Willem Views, the team that blows extremely hot and cold, in the 3rd spot so far with 136 points overall. But do not worry, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because Go Willem Views, they will be joining us back in game number 5 as well as 6. So they've got 2 more rounds to conveniently jump over AKO Ligers as well as Eva Radicals. Well, over Eva Radicals, we'll have to see if they continue to perform, but over AKO Ligers, that most definitely is an opportunity, because there's no way Go Willem Views will not pick up at least 4 points from 2 rounds in here. Bloodyhead in the 4th spot with 136 points. Vete Esports sit down in the 5th spot with 136 points for Bloodyheads, 128 for Vete Esports. VPH Velocity, now they are sitting down in the 6th position. They have D-ranked here. They've dropped 1 rank from the 5th spot previously with 111. Not too bad of a performance so far, because they still have 2 more rounds in here. Who's next, on the other hand? This is it for them for the day from Group B, and unfortunately for them, 7th spot is exactly where they sit. They D-rank as well with 107 points overall. The Vindicators as well as Equinox in the 8th as well as 9th spot with the 88 as well as 84 points, Neptune.
Yeah, we have Axis, Monkey Tribe, No Fear, Rev, Yolo's Ego, Oblivions, Trot, WYS, Black Angels, New Gen, and AV Crusaders, completing the whole lineup for the league stages. Now, we'll have to find out as we go in onto the next 2 matches, AJ. So this is a chance for Group B to take their rest, and hopefully they're good with the points that they have gathered so far. But let's check out the MVP of round number 3 and 4, aka Ligers Kanoho, in there. Total damage of 2138, 6 kills, 1 assist, and 47.8% hit rate, AJ.
Kanoho's quickly becoming one of my most favorite players to watch out there on the battlefield, purely because some of the decisions that he ends up making, very aggressive. He's most definitely a match opener, just like McRory with some of his nades, but he also is able to play the, ranged engagement against some of his opponents and give a little bit of backup for the rest of his team members to kind of go in there. And sometimes picking up that shotgun, the guy manages to get the job done on his own as well, right? With the 1 assist in their 6 kills, 47.8 on the hit rate. This guy most definitely deserves the MVP. It was just about time before AKO starts showing up as well, and today was a great day for them. But of course, on this note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they wrap it up And not just AKO, Bloodyhead, Equinox, New Gen, the Vindicators, as well as who's next. They from Group B, they will be resting. We will have to catch them in here tomorrow. To wrap the day up, we have got Group A now coming back into the fray. Group C stays on, and that's for 2 rounds. Once again, we will drop into Kalahari first, and then off to Purgatory we go, Neptune.
Yeah, I'm really excited on how this will end because this will complete most of the details. Like if Group A has improved, Group C has like moved down a little bit on their gameplay. This is where it completes it. And you know me, AJ. I'm more of a data guy. I want to get most of the picture in terms of data and information. So I would really, really be happy to see the results after this match, but we'll have to find out. I want to see how well the improvements of each team that we've seen so far. We've seen A already, C we've seen previously. So the battle between these two really, really, really is very exciting.
I cannot help but agree, Neptune. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here is the upcoming map. Once again, we are jumping right back into the reset button, and Kalahari is where we will be able to see Group A perform against Group C. This is the first one for the day, and I'm absolutely excited to see what VPH Velocity can pull off against Group C, man. Because, you know, when we were trying to spot VPH Velocity in the first 2 rounds, it was okay, because they maintained their consistency with the spot, but they were just making some of those decisions which were just mighty questionable, right? Just very slow rotations in towards that final circle, focusing in for some kill points a little prematurely when they could have been one of those teams that were contesting for the Booyah.
Yeah, definitely. And well, I think it's more of the map. This is not really their strong point. Kalahari is not really their strong point. They're really low on kills right here. A little bit less than average on the placement from previous matches that we've seen. So hopefully VPH will be able to move it up a little bit. I think they're trying to catch up on the kills. Thus, they try to focus on some of the engagement from afar, but it's not really like ending up successfully as what they expected.
AB Crusaders, a team that most definitely is struggling in the competition, and struggling might just be an understatement for some, as they see the, as they witness the prowess of AB Crusaders, just terrible decision making overall in terms of, the positioning, as well as some of the choices of when to start some of these fights. But some of these teams, they really do bloom towards the end of the competition, and we very much are not even at the halfway point, right? In fact, we've just completed about 25% of the group stages. We in here in week number 2, maybe they will be able to find themselves. It's not a lot of promise so far, Neptune. What do you think is, one of their greatest failings from some of these encounters they faced so far? Because obviously, some of these teams, they found that solution to get out of the gutter, right? And Bloodyhead's most definitely a great example for that, with some of the decisions that they've changed over time.
Yeah, for the case of AB Crusaders, I think it's more of how quickly will they respond the moment that they go in like face to face against a different team. Because at some point, once they are getting good position, they are taking good rotations and flanks. But once a team sees them right there, rush them in, that's done for. I mean, they put up a fight, but I mean, they just go down one at a time. So it's more of coordination, communication at that moment. You might want to spread yourself not too close together, spread yourself not too thin as well, in a good position, and continue on your rotations, your flank, still lessening the damage to one player, then another of their teammates might be going in for the backup, and vice versa. So we'll have to see how well these teams adapt. Not just because so far we've seen AV Crusaders, they are close together, spread apart on the start, close together towards the end, and then eliminated once a different team has seen them or spotted them.
Yeah, and I do agree with your buddy system, point as well, right? As to if you want to just split up, just make sure you've got a little bit of backup as well, because that most definitely can decide between life or death for some of these players in here. Wade Lung bringing the cute little Yeti in here just to protect himself from, dangerous players like McRory, who just love tossing that nade in at a moment's notice. But as we do manage to get information on the very first safe zone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we see teams like Monkey Tribe who need to move or at the very least start moving from the early get-go. And it's not going to be a very easy pathing in, because the teams like Go Villain Views, they don't really make their way in towards the middle of the circle very early on. They
Yeah.
really try to gatekeep some of these teams at the edges. You never know exactly how many of these kills you can find for yourself. VPH finding a kill. Oh, and a great blue wall pulled out in the nick of time to make sure he doesn't get knocked down. And Aguila pulling out the time turner for himself just to make sure he does not get knocked down. Blue wall as well, but a lot of pressure now coming in from VPH, and it looks like Eva Radicals, they are going to be caught in a very, very tough situation, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, that movement right there onto against the other players has been caught off by moving into the waters. And here we go. We have Binata, who has been taken out from a bar by Barba. Retus right now going for the pickup. Now, Binata will be surviving. Now, the question is, how well will Eva Radicals respond to this? We have Arky on the other side, who might be caught on the crossfire later on because it's a little bit too far from the rest of the team. Peitan is in there from above, not really moving against Führer. So, questionable move against Peitan right there. They might have easily taken out Führer right there. And on the other side, Barba is being shot at, as well as Retus is also on the ground. But no one has been eliminated just yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So let's. Aguila, I believe, has already gotten taken out. So Eva Radicals, they need to respond. A two-player push coming through. Time turner play by Eva. It's going to be Peitan now on the list, and they managed to take that meal quick and easy. And that's the punishment you get if you shut down one of your players. And now VPH Velocity going to be paying the high price. Has Binata as well as Ritus down on the ground. Arky, the final player for VPH. He says bye-bye as well as the crazy aggressive player. Taramo, he pulls out his throne. A well-deserved throne for him. And now Monkey Tribe trying to hold back AV Crusaders. AV Crusaders trying to overcome them at the same time as well. Seika, as usual, will be able to play the snipes from afar, knocking down Papa Zeus. Meow is here for the backup as well, as Miracle knocks down Chai and takes him out. He will get knocked down as well. A good retaliation, but now Seika, the final player for the side of Monkey Tribe, needs to shut down Papa Zeus and pick up Morris as well. Great play and dissipation. Decision-making solid, but it's a game of numbers now. 2 versus 1, Neptune.
Yeah, it's a 1v2 right now, and here we go. Seika right now pulling out from this fight and going into the corners. Oh, the backstab might be happening. The melee will not hit, and Monkey Tribe will be eliminating it. But I think it is more of utility that has been lost for the side of Seika. If Seika had used any weapon apart from the melee, he might be able to go and take one down. And we've seen his movement from inside outside, moving in, crossing over. He can do that 1v2, not that easy, but it is possible to finish off that 1v2.
But the difference is in the previous engagements, Seika had a distance. Seika had the distance between himself as well as opponents to take that long range engagement. Close range combat, on the other hand, Seika most definitely will be suffering, right? And I guess in that particular moment, being a part of Monkey Tribe, a team that, I hate to say this, but is a little used to seeing the exit early in the competition, he kind of weighed his options. It's either I run in here, aggressive, take one kill for myself, secure that kill point for my team, or run away and just potentially get sprayed down either way, right? So good decision making overall coming in here for him, as they need to really play the 12th placement for themselves and keep some momentum up, at least a little bit to look forward to. But now Axis getting sprayed down by No Fear. No Fear just going in here for that circular. They take that flank, but Axis trying to get away. Oh, bad placement on the glue wall and danger zone as well. This is going to be a GG for both teams. Mr. Ong pulling out the glue wall in the nick of time just to survive. 58 HP now, and now they have got protection in front of them, but they have got no compound to save themselves from the danger zone, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, despite that, they were able to survive that engagement, pull away, and move to their other compound. Now, no fear, as what we've seen earlier, as really, really, really aggressive. But I think because of the loss that they have earlier, and a few rounds before this, they have died down a little bit on the aggression and
Yeah.
started to be a little bit tactical. But too much tactical, too much waiting, leaving Axis still alive with 4-man squad, and the gunshots has been heard by Goblin Wheel, so it will be a third party from them. And like Goblin Wheels, one of the team who really, really loves to go third partying.
And, it just seems like the gods of RNG keep blessing them with that. And Go Willem Use, usually they clean up, and they clean up absolutely well. Let's see if or not they can pick up No Fear, because this is the backstab that No Fear just does not expect. Axis, on the other hand, they will be able to spot the players off views. 4-Bits will be able to shut down Aim J from the side of Ego. And now Axis keeping a close eye onto No Fear. No Fear backing away from that because they know that they are about to get backstabbed, and they want nothing to do with being sandwiched between two squads. And this is great decision making coming through from No Fear. But look at Go Willem Use. They reposition themselves to make sure No Fear has got no exit strategy from this compound. They are making sure to cut off all of those exits, and I believe Go Willem Use will be able to do exactly that. And Axis just needs to be super sharp in here, because they might just be able to pick off a few free kills, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Goblin Wheels has already got themselves in a position wherein they might not be sighted earlier. I mean, from afar by a different team, because they are aware that they are going against two teams. Now, a good decision, as what you mentioned earlier, to back off the same way as No Fear, because they don't want to be put in the middle of these two teams of Axis and No Fear. Now, we'll have to find out how well will these two teams go against each other. No Fear right now really, really in need of a lot of kills as well as a good placement. So I think they will not be too aggressive at this point. We're in Goblin Wills. We know them. They are going in there. They will be going in for that hit. And there goes Antino right there from afar into the window, taking one down. So this is more of Goblin Wills putting themselves out in there that we are here to take you down.
I really love the flank position held on by Ambalore, because if you look at that house, both the two sides of that house has got windows, and the two snipers on their side just covering both of those angles, which means it's just absolutely impossible to look out. And now Vete Esports will be able to spot views. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the exact kind of help that they need. And now Go Willem Views need to focus in on Vete Esports and potentially Black Angels in a couple of seconds as well, as they try to get into the safe zone. And Embalore will be able to escape with his life as Vete Esports decides on a better rotation in towards the next compound, as they detect way too much of engagement as to where they decided to go in for earlier on. Which means No Fear will still have to deal with Go Willem Views. They do not get an easy way out of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuses anymore to not go against Goblin Wheels, because later on in a few moments, everyone will be moving in, and it's either Wheels who will be backstabbing there, or No Fear who will be hit from behind, as some of the teams are getting closer and closer. So this is a chance for them to go against Wheels, Goblin Wheels, and probably knock a few down, force them to go in. And there you go, we have Embalore going against McRory. No Fear was able to go in for a one hit as well. And let's see how well this array of gunfire coming from all directions will end, AJ.
I really don't fancy anyone holding on to the watchtower, but I've got no issues whatsoever when it is a sniper as aggressive as Embalore, who knows how to take his opportunities, who knows that he needs to cover his head as well, continuously be in that crouch position so that he is not, pushed on upon, and he has got that backup with his team member as well. Wiz comes through just to give him that backup that he requires, just in case some of those snipers from those teams, for example, like Vede Esports, manage to get a knock onto Embalore as he tries to play that vantage point for himself. Meow! Oh, good kill, aiming AB Crusaders finally getting up on top. They will be able to take one off of Trot WYS, and Blocky now gets taken out as well. Good on AB Crusaders, but now Meow on the ground. Are they going to be able to save him and continuously put this pressure onto Navy? Eva Radicals keeping their heads down as requested earlier, and it looks like WYS will be able to find a little bit of those AB Crusaders, and it looks like payback is most definitely not sweet.
Yeah, well, I think AB Crusaders has no choice. He went in there a little bit too far with all directions, but let's go Sparky right now. Oh, missed opportunity on grenade. We have a Sparky backing off a little bit, going against Goblin Wings, and the push is on. Now, this is a turnaround right now. It is No Fear who went in for the rush, but it is now retreating from this gunfight, but still getting themselves close into the safe zone. On the other side, we have No Fear right there, seeing Beta Esports as well, but Barba has been taken down by Nathan in there with that grenade, and Mr. Ong going against Aberratic. A lot of things will be happening, and Pepper going in against McRory with that grenade as well. Sparky right now is in the dance and still trying to survive, but Wills is a little bit stronger, but with safe zone in there taking them down. I don't think there is a way out of this, AJ.
And now Go Willem Views left with two more players, and Balore as well as Squiz. This was the deadly combo. This was the deadly duo from moments ago, but they need to deal with Vete Esports, who have more than information on them, as well as a compound to deal with as well. What both Go Willem Views and Vete Esports do not have is the next safe zone, and in order to get into that safe zone, they have to deal with teams like Black Angel as well as Axis. Not a great of a threat as they are to each other. In fact, Vete Esports as well as Go Willem Views, the two most dominating teams in this particular lobby, and Views makes quick work of Vete Esports.
Triple kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way as they have been blocked and clearing out no way, hulking themselves through Vete Esports right there. And Golden Wheels really are. I think they are a way to go in and take a good placement point as well as a kill point. But we'll have to find out. We have Rev right now who is in there. Who will be eliminated? Or there goes Rev going in for that kill. But Black Angel has been eliminated as well. And 4-man strong still for the side of Rev. Now they are going against the high killing Wheels right now. We'll have to find out if they'll be able to take this advantage. And there you go! Rebel Yolos going in for the booyah in this game. And finally, their time to shine, AJ.
I hope so, man. Reveolas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the competition so far, they haven't been able to bag a lot of kills. They haven't been able to rise up the leaderboards all that too much. The last time we took a sneak peek at their overall leaderboards, we saw Reveolas sitting down in the 13th position with an overall 15 kills in the competition so far. So this booyah most definitely is going to be getting them excited. But of course, the question here is, have they done enough for themselves? Because on the side of Go Willem Views, you know for a fact that they've managed to pick up those kills and get into a great position, because the last time we saw them, they were in that #1 spot. And right now, what they're doing is playing to be placed better than Eva Radicals. Anybody else, they're not going to be too shaken over. So this round was still a great round for Go Willem Views, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, who else do you need to take out than the ones like who's attempting to take over you? And that's a good play indeed. Take down early, or probably see them being taken down early, is a good play. And then later on, just cruise along towards the end of the game. And but still, Rev Ayolus, a good start. And this is usually where some of the teams get a good start with a booyah. And a lot of decent kills as well. They have a good advantage from above. No one is seeing them, or they might have seen them, but too busy for those within their perimeter. Thus, they have not been taken down. And a good play indeed. Hopefully, they do it next time and a little bit better, because that's how we want it. Better than what we usually have.
Yeah, and it's not to put Reveolas down or whatsoever. It's just the impact of their particular booyah in here does not serve them super well if they do not bring in some of the consistency and show us that they can, use that booyah to propel themselves forward, right? Because overall in the competition so far, Reveolas has really been hitting like a wet towel. Depending on who's using that wet towel to hit, sometimes it can be extremely painful. But at the moment, maybe we'll change it from wet towel to wet tissue, okay? Raviolis, that's exactly how they... Wait, depending on that as well, man. I've been hit by some wet tissue bullets before, and it has really, really hurt. You know when you're kids and you do really dumb stuff and you've got the straw and you wet tissue paper and you blow it through the straw and hit people? It's really disgusting, but it's super effective if your friend pisses you off. But don't take my advice. It's just dumb things I used to do as a kid. But that's exactly what Raviolis kind of reminds me of right now. But you never know, Neptune. Maybe this is where they rise up and they start shining. I seem to be saying that for a lot of teams because that's exactly what I truly intend for them to use that as a stepping stone to, continuously bring in more of that momentum for themselves, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like what we've seen so far, most of the teams that we called out, especially what we've seen right now, AB Crusaders, one of the teams who are not really that aggressive, but they went against a Monkey Tribe who we've seen earlier had a lot of aggression as well and was able to eliminate that in this fight. So some of the teams or most of the teams right now are really moving up slowly, some faster than others, but they are moving up their game. And this is, I said, this is the chance for them to really move it up because a lot more can be put in before we go in onto the halfway of the league stages. So they can put in all those approach, gameplays, and tactics earlier on, make adjustments, learn from them. At least later on, they will be able to progress further into perfection.
Yeah, and Go Willem Views actually they got really lucky in a situation where I believe it was a great nade coming through from one of the players from No Fear. And the problem was, the guy managed to get a knock, and one more nade would have secured him a kill, and on top of that, also taken down Ambalore, but he only had one grenade in his artillery, right? Which is just so unfortunate because in order to get that kill, in order to get that shutdown, he needed to just jump out of his own compound, run towards the house of, Go Willem Views. And it was just way too easy of a glue wall to pull up for Ambalore to just continue protecting his friend. It was an easy pickup overall. And No Fear just unable to bring great impact into the matchup for themselves. But on that note, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see who did manage to bring in that impact. Go Willem Views, although they managed to grab an impressive number of kills for themselves, it was not enough to overcome the 19 points picked up for Raviolis, because not only do they secure the booyah, they also equalize in the number of kills that Go Willem Views got for themselves. 19 points overall. They sit down in the number one spot in the competition. Sorry, not in the competition, in this particular lobby, which is a great performance for themselves. Hopefully, that gives them the momentum to propel forward. Access, the underdogs that you've pegged in this competition, Neptune, getting it done once again. The third spot this time round, 12 points overall. Great with the placements, great with the kills as well in considering their past rounds in the competition. Hopefully, they can keep that up. Ego Oblivious, this one is a surprising one. In the 14th spot so far, 9 points because of... And I'm really glad to see some of these underdog teams really playing their placement points well. And teams like Eva Radicals, with what we discussed, man, over-aggression from the get-go, does it pay out? It looks like it most definitely doesn't. They bomb out early, but the kill points they managed to get for themselves. Whether or not they want to stick with this strategy, we will have to see. 8 points overall. And of course, in that 6th spot, AB Crusaders can be very proud because this time, didn't we just ask them, beg them to stop focusing on those placement points and start focusing on kills? We brought the aggression out of AB Crusaders, and I'm excited to see what more they can deliver, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we ask, they deliver. Hopefully, a lot of... It's not more of us asking. Like, it's more of suggesting that maybe you can try this on your next game. And yeah, it is really paying off for them. We're not taking any credits for them because it is more of the teams who are putting in all those efforts. We mentioned Ego Oblivions. They've already perfected the placement gameplay. Adding in a little bit more of kills does the higher placement on the standing. So those teams who are slowly learning, moving up, they are getting their chance to move up as well on overall standings. And great to see these teams. Now, in the case of Monkey Tribe, they already have a good run earlier, as well as No Fear. But right now, as we can see, they're in the 10th and 11th place. Same with VPH Velocity. I mean, they started off hot, now they're a little bit cold.
Yeah, unfortunately, Monkey Tribe, they kind of burned out all of the energy they brought into the competition early in these rounds, and they can't really keep that momentum up. And VPH Velocity kind of unfortunate in this round for themselves as they bomb out with that one kill. But of course, let's take a quick look at the recap of this map, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Match number 5 most definitely was an exciting one, with Reveolis managing to rise up to the top, but it just looks like, it's not a situation where they will be able to keep up for themselves if they cannot get some of their decision making in tune. But the one team that I'm most definitely excited about based on their performance in this round is definitely AV Crusaders. Because, my friend, I think up to date, last week was 8 matches, right? Give me a second. I need to do some maths in here, okay? 4 matches, 8 matches. And today, AV Crusaders, which group are they in? They are in the Group C, which means this is the 3rd game, 8, 9, 10, 11. It took them 10 rounds to get 5 kills. That's crazy. And in just this one round, they bagged 6 kills. They outdid their current performance in the competition. I'm super excited because it's not placements, right? Placement points, easy to get. You just play game of survival. Those kills against these monsters in the competition, Neptune, that's AV Crusaders taking stuff to a whole new level, my friend. As we bring things to a close, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the competition, this is going to be the final game, the final map of the day. We drop into Purgatory, and this matchup is once again between Group A as well as Group C.
Either heaven or hell. So hopefully no one will be stuck in the middle of this game. This is the last match of this match and of this day. And it's a good point as well as what you mentioned. So AV Crusaders has felt the feeling of getting a lot of kills. Hopefully they're cherishing that right now because they're feeling the placement points already. So both of like from both worlds, they already know the situation. Hopefully they'll be able to combine that and use that in this last game. But I don't think most of the teams will be letting them that easily because a lot of flukes has been happening from previous round as well. So a chance for them to learn to apply it this time. So it's more of hoping, applying, and yeah, just have fun as well if you want to put that in the mix. And hopefully everyone, AJ, is having fun because I'm pretty sure we are.
May I say, I'm so proud of EVA Radicals, bro, because the EVA Radicals of old would have seen, a team dropping into their compound as well because they were headed into campsite, but they spotted Reveolis. There's no way for them to know that it's Reveolis, but they spotted opponents. And what were we just talking about was the fact that EVA Radicals, they spot people out early in the open. They're going to hunt you down. They're going to be looking for those kills. With them moving away from a compound of their choosing, and once again, EVA Radicals, one of the most mechanically sound teams in the competition, with them moving away, you can see a clear switch of direction when it comes to those strategies, and that most definitely is going to give them a lot of fruits for their labor. Let's see if or not they will be able to pull it off. Black Angels, they might be swimming straight to their death as they walk directly into No Fear, and Arf goes down.
I mean, Arf is one of the greatest part of Black Angels, as what we've seen earlier. And I know they're aware that No Fear is in there. It's just that Arf just overstepped his boundaries at this point, getting a little bit closer, expecting that No Fear will be backing up. But with this point of this day, no one will be backing off that easily. They want to get as much kill as possible, and Arf might be done for. Gradient will be in there as well, and the rest of the teams of Black Angels a little bit too far, might not be able to go in for the pickup. Now, 2 points has been or will be gathered by No Fear right here. A good momentum for them. Hopefully they'll be able to keep it up and then do it the same as what we've seen from them earlier, AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And picking up kills over Black Angel, I feel bad for saying it, but it's a little easy in the competition based on the way they've been taking some of these gunfights, right? And No Fear most definitely will be very happy to feast on the Black Angels as they play a game of shutdown. But it's good to see that the rest of those members from Team Black Angels back away from this compound as some of these engagements is kind of kicked off, right? They know exactly where they stand. They want to play for placement points, and they get out of that compound instantaneously. Good decision making. Instead of, just aggressively taking that fight up against the players of No Fear blindly and just bombing out in the 12th position, you
Yeah.
might as well just play a little bit of your luck, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, I wouldn't say a long way to go, but they're in their way on perfecting the placement gameplay. It's just that
Yeah.
early engagement is not their forte as of this moment. They need to work on that probably after this day and well, after the next day as well. So they need to work on that, find out how well will they be able to get positions, as well as the accuracy, the mechanical games, the mechanical game style that they need to go in for early engagement, thus getting a lot of points and surviving from that early battle. Now, as we go in onto this map, we have Eva Radicals and Trot WYS. And earlier, before we switch, we've seen Trot WYS slowly moving in against Eva Radicals. So it is more likely that Eva Radicals already seen them, and it is more of the waiting game from these two teams. Who shoots first might be the ones who might be able to go in for the takedown or might be spotted. So Eva Radicals, like what you mentioned, AJ, a smart move from them, moving away
Yeah.
because they learn. I think they have a counter on how many mistakes they can make and then switch strategies as they go along, AJ.
Yeah, whatever they want to do to make sure they stop messing up, I'm cool with that, man. Because Eva Radicals, most definitely, I'm becoming a fanboy the more I see them play because of how dominant they are out there on the battlefield. The decision making, most definitely stellar, and the mechanical capabilities are very impressive. But in some of these instances, they have been making mistakes that are absolutely unacceptable for a team of their stature, for a team of their capability. It's absolutely unacceptable unless you're trying to throw off your opponents. But it doesn't seem like you're throwing off your opponents, because when Vete Esports goes down, I kind of see them holding back. When Eva Radicals is going down, it's more of when they get over aggressive into a gunfight, they overstep their boundaries, and then they get shut down when things turn a little bit sour, right?
Mhm.
It's unacceptable that they keep allowing that same situation, the same sequence to kind of break down on them again and again. And that being said, of course, we can't really hold that against them because of what they're doing in this round. It is because of that awareness as to where they are going around in the competition and making those minute changes before it is too late, Neptune. That's what's going to keep
Yeah.
them as the apex predators of the competition. Because sometimes you see some of these teams, they get sucked into their own egos, and they focus on one path, one direction. And, halfway through the competition, they start off at the top and they end up not at the bottom, but, in the midway point where it's not so impressive anymore.
And speaking of impressive, Blake right there, a power shot against Ethan. And I'm not quite sure if, like, how well these teams are really going in for the accuracy from this long distance. And Rev Ayolos is in a way wherein they might be able to get a few more points in this game. Now,
Oh, my
Monkey right
lord!
now, well, being taken down there despite of the blue wall, but stepping out of one boundaries of the cover will be the down of him. Now, Trot WYS, it has waited for a couple or more minutes in here before this battle has happened. So I think it's about time. No waiting anymore for Eva Radicals. Already got one kill. So it's more of them just waiting and probably closing this out for Trot WYS. Well, unfortunate for WYS, but they chased Eva Radicals, to be honest. And that might have been
Yeah.
the fault of them.
Yeah, exactly, bro. They didn't know exactly which nest they were stirring. They thought this was a nest of a little birdie that, perhaps they could find a few eggs from, get a little bit of the protein in there. It's a hornet's nest, my friend. It kind of stings when you stick your hand in there. And Eva Radicals, dude, they were running away. Eva Radicals running away. They didn't want to fight. You forced them to fight. Yeah, they're going to turn around and they hit hard, man. They hit absolutely hard. And I believe Trot WYS knows that. They're like, okay, Eva Radicals is that. Thank you very much, sir. We are leaving this compound. Please don't kill the rest of us.
I mean, as we can see, now the tables have been turned. It is Eva Radicals right now being the hunter in this fight. Here comes the push. Tanama right now. A good gameplay in there with that glue wall. The making at par. But there goes
Oh my lord.
Marva in there. These tanks from behind. And I think the flag will be done with Tanama
Oh!
in there. What a good switch up by this teams, and someone stopped them right there already. Blocky is in there. WYS is out, and Eva Radicals, despite of their passiveness in there, they really can't help it. They want to be aggressive, AJ.
They don't want to be. That's the point. They don't want to be aggressive. You do not stir the hornet's nest. And when you do, Eva Radicals, they most definitely sting hard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it was a great attempt by Trot WYS, but it was an even more amazing when it came to the turnaround by Eva Radicals. 4 kills so far with the trio versus squads in a competition which is the biggest when it comes to Free Fire in the Philippines. And that is most definitely something that is crazy impressive.
Yeah, and we know even radicals can survive with 1, 2 members up until the final safe zone, and they can even get some kills. So this wouldn't stop them having 3 members. But the thing is, they are trying a different approach, going in passive and getting in for those kills when they need it, or when they are backed in the corner, and then getting for a placement as well. I think they've heard us already several times. So this is them telling us, okay, we hear you. We're putting it into play. So just you wait.
Yeah, let's see if or not they will be able to bag the advantage, right? Because it's a little unfortunate that they dropped into this round with just 3 players. I believe one of those players might have just had a little bit of a connection issue as they tried connecting into the game, and that puts them at a great disadvantage. But it is some of these decision making that they have made in the earlier rounds that has put them into a similar situation, just like you've mentioned, Neptune, and they still managed to get into that final zone. And now Axis managing to find Serben, and No Fear will have to back away, but 2 players from 2 different angles putting on those shots against Serben, and the glue wall gets taken down as well. Laurie will be able to go in here and get the knock, but Bayday Esports joining this fray as well. McRory, he does have the sniper from afar, will be able to put on a lot of pressure. And girl, he is stuck in this watchtower with no backup whatsoever.
No Fear is always in a position wherein they will be closed off in the middle of a different team. Now, they are now moving up, but they will be blocked off once again by Beta Esports from the other side. Nathan, on the other hand, is still keeping on firing at them, putting them at bay, really, pushing them to run away. But it's a good thing that Axis as well is not overstepping their boundaries, not really letting go of this ridge and this high ground, because they know that Beta Esports might be able to take them down from afar. So a good distance, but hopefully not really that aggressive approach as Mr. Ong, as we're seeing right now. But the duo or the buddy system, they are applying it. So there is still a chance for them, but backing out on this game, getting a good position and staying on the edge of the safe zone. A smart move for Axis right now, and probably might be advantageous for them later on, AJ.
Yeah, let's see if or not they will be able to get out of this, because they are 1 man down. Phaeton is most definitely a player they can all turn to. BPH velocity, a lot of pressure on them right now. Ritu's the guy who's responsible to get that information. Unfortunately, he's stuck out there all alone and no backup coming through for him. He pulls out the beat. He is able to recover just a little bit, but Reveolas now, with so much of pressure from across, the one thing that he does not need is for them to now start tossing grenades at him as well. We jump on right back to Vete Esports as they continue the pressure onto No Fear, and Monkey Tribe, they approach as well, still leaving No Fear in a sandwich situation, but they do not have a compound. They do not have the height advantage against Vete Esports, and you know that puts Vete Esports in the best position amongst these 3 squads here, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I think Veda Esports has spotted one of the monkey tribes, thinking that is a No Fear. So they're trying to cut them off. And moving further away from the circle. Now, 2 members, Forbids and Damon, will be staying in there to get the position, making sure that once they come back, they have a good a good opening to get into the safe zone. And that is a good play for Veda Esports. A little bit. I mean, it's not too aggressive, not too Eva Radicals, I would
Yeah.
say, but still, it might give them a good results because we have
Yeah.
No Fear, we have Monkey Tribe, and then later
Mhm.
on they can just turn and take down Axis. But on this
Yeah.
plane, I think Axis is in a fight against Rev, so we can check that off the list. And Veda Esports right now is going for the rush against No Fear, and we might see carnage right here coming from Veda Esports. AJ.
Yeah, good nade by Let's Go. He has one more to go in here, but he doesn't waste it at all. Shuts down Sparky. Sparky already opened that glue wall, which means Let's Go has got a little bit of backup as well. But that just impedes some of his movement. He shuts it down. Daymoon right in front of him for the pickup. Let's Go pulls out that glue wall. Very effective play by the guy. Enables him to pick Daymoon right back up. And Vete Esports, they're ready for this battle as they take on No Fear. Sparky gets taken out, but sent right back to the lobby. And right when Vete Esports is about to be done with it, McRory sends the information that Monkey Tribe is on the way in, and they might be able to pick off a couple of extra kills because this is gatekeeping at its best. They've got the vantage point. They've got the perfect position. Forbits manages to get a little bit of assistance, and Let's Go takes that final kill with the double vectors.
I mean, it's really unfortunate for Monkey Tribe. They waited so long to be cut off by Veda Esports right here, a little bit too far in or outside of the safe zone. And Wave Long right now with only a few HP. Here comes McCrory right here, moving in towards the safe zone with those gunshots. And Forbits was able to take down Wave Long. Mr. Pantman is just awaiting his death if in case he will not be able to go in. And I think it is that safe zone who take them down. But well, Veda Esports was not given that point, but still one team less against them. And wired right now, going against Twinkle with that grenade launcher, AJ.
Ooh, Raviolas, they need to watch out now because right behind them, the Apex Predators of the competition who have been playing possum so far. Here comes that glue wall. Sanamo with that backup as well. 1-2 with the pressure from up top. But yes, they have Fura with a headshot, takes down 1-2, and 1-2 gets picked right back up. But that's a lot of time wasted already as Wyatt tries to back away from this situation. Barba, he flanks around with a shotgun, but Barba isn't able to shut down Wyatt. Backup comes through from the side of Raviolas as well, as it will be Wyatt who backs away. He coops up the grenade launcher, but he's down on the ground. Fire take it out as well, and the grenade launcher won't be able to go to the players of Eva Radicals. A lot of grenades on the ground as well. Blake trying to keep his team out. Eva Radicals shut down by Blake Neptune.
Blake the Snake creeping in there, taking those kills, and what an impressive game. Now, on the other hand, we have Veda Esports already eliminating another team right here, but really, I couldn't say more about that fight. And DPH right now getting those melee. Sneak's the only one right here, going in and trying to survive, or Arky on correction right there, and will be taken down by that elimination. Now, we're left to 6 teams right here. Ego, AimJ, trying to survive with only the glue walls, 3 glue walls to be exact, and a grenade. So hopefully he's not spotted that easily. He might be able to move around, but Rev is just waiting for them right there after eliminating Eva Radicals. Hopefully it will not go to their heads and they'll be able to tactically go against Veda Esports. This is, and as well as Govilum Wheels, who's just on their side.
Oh, may God save AV Crusaders. The safe zone just not on their side. In fact, directly opposite of them. 1-2 from afar, shuts down Forbits. What a play by Raviolas and Embalore as well. Govilum Views chipping in a shot. They will be able to get a knockdown, but no delete coming through just yet. Black Angels with one final player in here, just behind Govilum Views, and they need to be really careful. And AV Crusaders, they are the furthest ones from this next safe zone, and they have to get through Vete Esports. It's not going to be easy as Let's Go cooks up that nade, but it'll be the only nade that he can send through to the players of AV Crusaders. Here comes the double vectors. Meow almost taken down. Great glue wall just to protect himself. A double glue wall as a matter of fact, and he will not be able to get shut down. Morris on the other hand gets caught out. Great glue wall by Let's Go. Double vectors. We won't be able to shut down Morris, and AV Crusaders hurting as they're not able to shut down Vete Esports. But as I say that, Embalore comes out from nowhere, and Meow goes in for the shutdown. Vete Esports out of the equation, but Views, Govilum Views still alive and kicking. AV Crusaders! No!
I mean, it's really a long shot for AV Crusaders, and Govilum Wheels in there finishing off easy, taking out AimJ going solo, who's just staying in there. And Govilum Wheels, once again, for the Booyah, They take it all, AJ. They take it all as Embalor take in the MVP in this game. Embalor, Santino Snicks, Svek, and Wiz right here taking this booyah from this game.
It's tough to not think that Embalore managed to get the MVP as he settles this particular round, right? Go Willem views, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Earlier on, 23 points overall. They managed to bag for themselves as they picked up the booyah. The biggest question is here, how many points did they manage to secure for themselves in this final round? I didn't manage to catch a view as to how many kills they managed to get, as it was just pure chaos throughout that final circle. But the one fight that I most definitely was keeping my eyes on was Eva Radicals as they took that final move in. This time, just playing it as passive as possible. But, you know, the change of being a super aggressive team to a passive team just doesn't sit with their play style very well, Neptune. It seems to really be putting them out of their comfort zone. We have asked for a lot for them to tune it down, but it looks like these boys are just not used to tuning it down.
Yeah, and also there's well, we've seen Eva Radicals tuning down, and then Ayolos is moving it up. So some of the teams are putting some of the teams are trying to balance it off, but the opposing teams are just tipping up the scale. So I think that's just what happened right there. Eva Radicals, unfortunate, but still, they were able to maintain their composure, not really that aggressive. So that's their answer to us. Hopefully they get a good placement as well as the kill points from that fight. But I would say Rev Ayolos right there, really improving from those games back to back so far. A lot of improvements, and that's what we love to see, AJ.
Absolutely right. It's the, minute adjustments that they make in the competition that shows us their trajectory in terms of improvement. And previously, it was Reviolus' very first booyah. And, we kind of said it. I kind of said it. And I didn't really expect much from it because I've said it for so many teams in here so far, whereby hopefully this victory or hopefully bagging something great like this gives them the momentum to keep up the great work. And it looks like it's working really well for Reviolus. The unfortunate thing here is they have to go on a lull because that was the final game of the day, Neptune. Let's take a quick look at the highlights so we can see exactly how well this round, kind of concluded for some of these teams. Because very early on for Rev Ayolis, it was the fight against VPH versus Velocity, which kind of put them up on the board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Blake right now is on fire. I mean, from up close, Blake is really stepping it up. Now, Eva Radicals, as what we mentioned earlier, they tried to get their distance from the team, but they are really pushed. And once they push back, I mean, they push back hard, AJ.
Oh, yeah. And it was just a little bit of too late of a rotation in, and it's just unfortunate that they had to go up against Reviolus once again. Earlier on, it didn't pan out well for them. This time round as well, it was way too easy as Blake just pulls off the flank. Initially, that was the flank that was played against them by Eva Radicals to kind of start this whole fight, right? And it's just, unfortunate that the exact same play is what caught Eva Radical off guard because they weren't expecting the smarts from the opponents, which I feel like could have been played a little bit better in that situation. He did still have a glue wall on him, so the response was just a tad bit too slow. Bete Esports, on the other hand, bro, that was the one I did not see coming, man.
Yeah, I mean, they always, most of the time they have good position, they have good information of the other team, but I think it's more of a lot of teams already clump up against each other, and it's very difficult to go in. But let's check out match number 6 standing, wherein Goblin Wheels once again takes 1 mark for their booyah, 12 placement points and 5 kills, 17 in total. Beatty Esports, on the other hand, 10 kills and 1 point shy from Goblin Wheels and Rev Ayolos. And earlier, it's more a placement and then kills this time. Golden ratio, AJ. Golden ratio. 6, 7, and 6. And a total of 13. AB Crusaders as well, moving up onto the ranks 8 and 3 with a total of 11. And Eva Radicals was pushed down because of what happened earlier. 2 and
Yeah.
8 on 10.
Yeah, and wait a minute. They only got 2 from their placement points. That's insane, man, because they survived for quite a while in there towards the closing moments of the game. To be able to only bag 2 placement points is just unfortunate for Eva Radicals, but look at them kind of stay in the competition with the kill points, right? Still surviving with their aggression. Ego Oblivions, of course, in that 6th spot, 9 points. Black Angels, 5 points in the 7th spot. Axis, VPH Velocity, No Fear, Monkey Tribe, as well as Trot WYS wrap up this particular lobby. But the one team that I really want to focus on once again is AV Crusaders. My friend, they are waking up. They are stepping it up.
Yeah.
They are finding a little bit more of this aggression. 3 kills this time they get in this lobby. I say that's super freaking impressive, man. Because if you look at AV Crusaders in their matches, I believe in day number 2, it was just an abysmal performance. I believe the whole day 2, they only managed to get a total of, if I'm not mistaken, let me just take a quick check here, because if I'm not mistaken, they only managed to find 1 kill there on that day. And it looks like, they managed to find 2 kills on day 2.
Yep.
They have not only outperformed themselves, they have obliterated all of their past performances. And this is a brand new team that we have got our eyes on. AV Crusaders, the question is, can they keep this momentum up? Because they are finally no longer the bottom feeders of this competition. Because with the performance today, for the first time, they are going to launch themselves out of the 18th position. Hopefully, man. I've got my fingers crossed for them.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some teams improve, some like really on fire, really on steam.
Oh, yeah.
First part, and then just lost it. Probably it's a break. Probably it's the length of the games that they're playing. But here we go. Going to the map recap for all 6 rounds. Bloody Head taking Kalahari. Purgatory has been taken by Govilem Wheels. A double from AKO Ligers on both round number 3 and round number 4. We have Kalahari right now being taken by Rev Ayolos. And we have Purgatory, and they're taken by Govilem Wheels once again. And they're really raking up on those on those Booyah AJ, and that really helps them balance it off after some of the fails that they have in this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. No doubt about that at all, right? Purgatory, definitely the map that Govilem Views has got in the bag. But in terms of map mastery over Kalahari, this is something that Govilem Views kind of needs to focus in on slightly better. But, you know, overall, they did manage to pick up that 2nd spot in Kalahari in match number 5, which really, oh my lord, what in the world? Neptune, let me tell you this, bro. I was so freaking sure that I was going to announce Govilem Views in that number 1 spot today, my friend. They hit the double booyah. Eva Radicals, on the other hand, has had one of the worst days of their run in the competition. But Eva Radicals maintains their number 1 spot. Insane performance. This is just absolute craziness coming out of Eva Radicals. This team not only deserves a lot of respect, but they have just blown my mind by how they can still hang in here with the best. And look at the sheer difference with the number of booyahs between Eva Radicals and Govilem Views, gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they've already invested a lot more onto the points earlier on. If I'm not mistaken, from the previous time that the overall standings has been shown to us, it's around 20 points that the rest of the teams need to catch up on. So with that investment, as well as the inconsistency of Govilem Wheels, despite of the booyahs that they got, they're still a lot more to catch up. And Eva Radicals is not really going down to the bottom half of the round standing, so it will not be that easy for some of the teams. But Govilem Wheels, it's a good play for them. They reduce the gap between the points, and Beta Esports maintaining that points as well, also slowly creeping in. AKO Ligers from 4th in there, still a huge lead, but if they perform further from what we've seen so far in this game, then they will be able to take the top 3. But it's a long stretch because some of the teams,
Yeah.
especially for the top five, top six, right here, they are good when it's good, and
Mm.
really not that bad when they are failing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. At the start of the day, Eva Radicals started on the top of the leaderboard, but we did see Go Willem Views overtake them with the last time we took a peek at the overall leaderboards. It's just so amazing to see them. It's kind of just rip that right back to their side, right? Vete Esports, on the other hand, started off in the third spot today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. They maintain it. Overall, we started the day like this, we end the day like this. AKO Ligers, they have been able to jump up from the 10th position all the way into the 4th spot, because today was a day where AKO Ligers just woke up once and for all, right? Bloody Head, on the other hand, they started off the day in the 4th spot, but they dropped a little bit. Today's just not been a great victorious day for them. VPH Velocity, on the other hand, they are sitting down in the 6th position in here so far, but earlier on, they started off in the 5th spot. So not a great day for VPH Velocity overall, but to be able to just not drop too far away from that 5th spot where they started off from, I guess is a good consolation. Who's next? Axis as well as the Vindicators, they sit down in the 7th, 8th, as well as 9th position. And, this is a good way, this is a good setup for the competition as it's building for the first half of the leaderboard. On the second half of the leaderboard, we did see some of these teams rise up to the occasion today, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And we have Equinox right there, who started off well. Equinox really didn't do that well because they started off with 9th, they went in 10th, but Revayolus in here. If I'm not mistaken, Revayol started in 14th from the previous day, and now they are their 11th. Monkey Tribe has had a lot of performances improvement as well as No Fear, though they died down on the latter part. Now, Ego Oblivions, Black Angels, Strot WIS, New Gen, Avery Crusaders, we have seen a few improvements, but it leads a little bit more. So hopefully those teams, the last part, the second half of the standings, will be able to improve further and move it up, AJ.
Absolutely, man. Let's take a quick look at the MVP. Is it going to be from Go Willem Views? Is it going to be Embalore? Or is it going to be someone else, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It will be the one and only Anamo from Eva. Oh, my Lord. Somebody give me a chair. I want to sit down. Because, the last time I checked, Eva Radicals was nowhere to be seen on those Booyah stats. The last time we checked, Eva Radicals, they were hurting real bad. But in order to pick up the MVP, a lot of effort was put on in there. In order to maintain their number 1 spot, a lot of effort was put on in there. And Tanamo, most definitely a huge contributor to that particular fact. 2,776 on the damage, 7 kills, 1 assist, and a hit rate of a monstrous 60.5. Your MVP was an absolute monster today. Most definitely Radical, nephew.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge difference as well from the previous gameplay of Tanamo, wherein right now he is more of a long distance support and really steals all those kills, not just from the teammates but the opposing team as well. So it's a good start from them to switch it up. Like with the place, I mean, the way they are placing themselves, Tanamo right now, getting a little bit of distance and surviving up until the last part, even if he's left alone.
Yeah. And this guy pretty much functions as a slayer, but with a very, very different, role that he actually plays in, right? Because usually you see the slayers really being those who take those, close range combats. They carry a SMG, maybe a double vector on their side. Maybe they have a shotgun in their hands. This is one of those few slayers that take their engagements from afar. Be it those kill steals, be it protecting his team members as they try to take an aggressive fight. Eva Radicals never fails to absolutely obliterate my mind, Neptune. I cannot believe, in the first day, in day number 1, this was the team that just played 2 matches and immediately rose up to that number 1 spot. And from that day on, all they've been doing is just making sure nobody touches their throne. And even when they do not as great on some of these days, they're still untouchable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's more of this is the chance for them. I mean, they already taken the top spot, a chance for them to
Yeah.
change up their gameplays, to ease up a little bit, like what we've seen from the previous round, and try something new. And then later
Yeah.
on, when they need it, they put the pedal to the metal and then go in for those kills once again.
Crazy stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're wondering exactly how some of these players are hitting those crazy shots, how do they even manage to spot some of these opponents before you can even see them on the screen, it really has. It really helps to have the 120 hertz on your mobile phone. And if you're wondering how can you get the 120 hertz for yourself to serve you really well in Free Fire, you can most definitely invest 9,900 pesos in the Infinix Note 11S, because the Free Fire Challenger Philippines is sponsored none other by them. A powerful smartphone with the Helio G96 Ultra gaming processor, and for such a low price tag, it can make anybody a pro player overnight, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, Infinix Mobile, the official sponsor of the Free Fire Challenger Philippines. So get one and fire up your game with Infinix's best-selling gaming smartphone, the Infinix Note 11S, guys.
Dude, I tell you, today was just a day where, the waves were just bobbing us up and down. I feel a little nauseated with all of the craziness and how it has just been. I mean, look, a team like Go Willem Views, they actually maintained their crazy run by keeping up with Eva Radicals with their inconsistency of tremendous plays. And Eva Radicals nailing that #1 spot, even without bagging a single booyah in here today, just purely with their performance in terms of aggression. And even when they tune it down, they're still aggressive. They still nailed an 8-kill lobby in a round where they were playing passive. Neptune, I cannot wait to see exactly what day #4 holds for us, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. Day #4 will be happening tomorrow. So hopefully you've enjoyed all those matches that we've seen so far right now. Once again, we are your hosts, your casters. I am Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia, together with me, the amazing, the legendary Mustachio AJ. We're going to end the day for today, but hopefully you stay with us tomorrow, because this is Free Fire Challenger Philippines. So we'll see you then.
Good night.
Get too close, and you'll get frostbite. True control is controlling your environment.